A logo, ACB in print and braille, American Council of the Blind, together for a bright future. 63rd Annual National Conference and Convention, General Session, Tuesday, July 9th, 2024. In a large ballroom filled with rows of tables and chairs sits an audience of conference attendees. In the front center of the room is a stage with a podium at the center and tables on both sides. To the left and right of the stage are two curtains lined with banners bearing the names of past American Council of the Blind convention locations. A large screen standing to the left of the stage
to this morning's agenda. We have lots to do. Yay!
Ed Cook Lewis stands at the podium.
Is everybody doing well this morning? All right. Welcome to our Zoom people. Welcome to our ACB media people. Welcome to our people in the room. It's a little chilly in here this morning. We may have to have Leslie and Connie come up and do some exercise with us or something. It's a little chilly. Yeah, go to the mini ball and buy a jacket, Nancy said, but don't buy the one I want to go over and buy. So leave me one. Just leave me one. Okay. We are ready to begin. This morning, our Pledge of Allegiance will be led by our JP Morgan Chase. Yeah, goodness sakes. I can't say this. JP Morgan Chase Leadership Fellows, who we welcomed in last night to the Hall of Fame, and we're glad to have them. So let's have the Pledge of Allegiance with them, and you'll all need to rise for that.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you very much. Excellent. Now, this morning we will be having our corporate sponsor recognitions. And we have two sponsors who are presenting to us in person this week. We've had one already, and that was Vanda on Sunday, and then we will have a presentation from Vispero tomorrow. But the rest of our corporate sponsors are not doing in-person up here in the general session presentations. So Rick, if you will give us that sponsor information now.
The American Council of the Blind would like to thank our 2024 Conference and Convention corporate sponsors. Their continued support is sincerely appreciated. Diamond, $25,000. JP Morgan Chase, Meta, Microsoft, Sony Corporation of America, Vanda Pharmaceuticals Inc., Vispero, Emerald, $15,000. Amazon, Johnson & Johnson Health Systems, MGM, Verizon, Waymo, Ruby $10,000, CVS Health, Google, Humanware, Spectrum Charter, Onyx $5,000, Accessibility Officer, IRA, American Printing House, Cruise LLC, Guiding Eyes, Jacksonville Transportation Authority JTA, Uber Technologies, United Airlines, Zoox, Coral $2,000, ACB Families, ACB Lions, Bosma Enterprises, Dr. Gerard Boucher, Democracy Live, Enhanced Voting, Library Users of America, National Industries for the Blind, NIB, Penny Forward, Userve, Pearl $1,000. Anonymous. Perkins School for the Blind. Walk sponsor. Macular Degeneration. Auction in-kind donations. Humanware.
All right, and we really, really do appreciate our corporate sponsors. We'll hear about our individual sponsors on Thursday. But we definitely appreciate our corporate sponsors. We couldn't do this without them. And thanks to the staff who worked so hard to help get those put together for us. All right, we are going to move now to the affiliate roll call from the election. Huh?
Okay, bring this up.
And before we do, I want to just make a couple of quick comments. So if you are an affiliate delegate and you are going to be virtual, you need to be in the affiliate delegate Zoom now, so you can do that. We had a little confusion about this on Sunday night, so I want to resolve any confusion. That a room will be open each day at the beginning of general session, and we will be doing the roll call fairly early in the session each day. And then as soon as you are done with your part of the roll call, my recommendation is that you leave that room and come back to the regular Zoom if you are part of Zoom, because it's in the regular Zoom where we can recognize your hand or other kinds of participation. So you'll come off that Zoom and come back. At the end of the affiliate roll call, they will be closing the delegate Zoom so that we are able to be real clear about that. But we don't want someone to feel that they've been locked out in the cold by that, and so that's why I'm telling you that that's how it will work. So I'm going to turn things over to Denise Colley, our secretary, who is going to do the affiliate roll call from yesterday's election. And Denise is having a technical difficulty. All right. Are we able to resolve that, or what are we doing?
Oh, dude, you're not on. Hey, Deb, suddenly,
Yeah?
and I hate to say this,
Yes.
Zoom knocked us off saying our connection is not secure. So we're trying to
All right, then-
troubleshoot that right now.
All right, so we've got a couple technical difficulties.
So
All right.
both the rooms are down at the moment.
All right, so standing by for recovery of the rooms and for recovery of Denise's PC or whatever's going on over here. And yeah, do we have any door prizes that we could do? Janet, I don't think Janet's in here.
That's going to happen to us every day.
All right. We don't have door prizes right now. We don't have the door prize lady. Okay. We're just standing by for a minute. This is stuff that does happen in our agenda. People have been asking about whether we will be able to complete the elections during the time we are here. I do have a plan for how we'll be able to do that if everything happens that I think will happen. The problem is that y'all's plans might not line up with mine, and so I never know for sure, but we will probably be having an additional election on Thursday. Janet is here. Janet, can we get a door prize? Huh? Oh, who has? I don't think Katie's in here though. She's in her exhibit, I think. Oh, okay. Yes, okay. Then let's do it. Can we do a door prize? All right.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Is it working? Okay. How about a door prize, guys? Yeah. Well, I guess you can hear me. You can't hear me.
Do you need Nancy to read them? We're still waiting for Rick to get back, though.
Where's the mic?
Okay, is it working
You
now?
have to press a router key over.
Who's talking?
Okay, you probably have to reconnect it then.
He's not talking either.
Okay, door prize.
Yeah.
Lynn Powers, $25 cash, straight
All
up
right.
North Dakota.
All right.
Another one, Deb? Okay, do we want another door prize?
Yeah, you can do one more.
Okay.
Oh, I see, Katie. She's not standing by the mic.
Victoria Vertalbo, she's here. She's going to get $50 from ACB Cash Amateurs. $50 cash.
Oh, wow. Excellent. That's a deal.
Now, to pick them up, go see Janet at the information desk or the volunteer desk.
Yeah, she's at the volunteer desk. Yeah. Thank you. Excellent. All right. Rick, how are we doing on the Zoom back there?
We're still down.
Do we
The
not-
hotel has reset its internet. It's coming up now.
Oh, okay. So the hotel is doing a reset. All right. Lovely. They need to buy an extra hamster. We're paying enough that they could afford a hamster, right? Yeah. We'll mention that.
This off, and now I can't
Yeah.
know where you were.
Yeah. Thank you all for your patience. Obviously, I know last year it was the video stuff that went down. Our equipment gets so excited about the elections that it just,
Who's talking, Deb?
goes berserk.
I need to compress that.
So as soon as we get the voting people back, the delegates back, we will. If you are in touch with your remote delegate via texting or whateverings, and you can let them know that we know and we're aware and we're on it, and we're looking for a bigger hamster. And we're running off schedule.
Oh, wait, here we go.
Madam President? Madam President,
Yes?
this is Alan Peterson.
Alan, what have you got for us?
I have a Braille form raffle tickets that I'd like to sell to anyone that's needing one.
The delegate room seems to be up, so there must be some internet.
Okay, we hear Michael. That's good. I think we're getting the internet back. Complete your announcement there, Alan, about the tickets.
Yes, we have a few Braille form raffle tickets left. They support the Braille form, production of our Braille form. First prize is $5,000, second prize $1,000, third prize is $500, and it helps support our newsletter. It doesn't support all of the costs of the newsletter, but it is a great way to support our newsletter, and I have tickets to sell. So
How many are left, Alan?
there's about 50 tickets left.
Oh, we do need to do a little work. So see Alan, please. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. By the way, before we do begin back, I want to commend our sound people. I don't think I've cut out at all yet. Yay. And I don't plan to. So thank you so much, sound people, for helping us get stuff all squared away. Are the Zoom people back?
I believe so.
Delegates?
Deb, but we have the delegates, we don't have the main room.
All right.
So you could proceed with the
We are going to
delegates if you
proceed
want.
we are going to proceed with the delegates. I'm going to ask you to continue to proceed with getting we do have to have the main room because the main room is part of our official. So I need the main room. Are we getting them back?
Bear with us.
Yeah, so
Not
it's-
sure yet.
Okay. Yeah, because we can live without the stream, but our commitment was to the main room and to in here. So I kind of want to have both. I want to really try hard to do that.
Can you run up to their office?
Yeah, that's okay.
And the guys are working on it. Are there any announcements? We'll forego announcements at the end. If we have some announcements that we need to be made, I'd like to use our time for something.
Deb,
Yes.
this is Donna Brown, Chair of the ACB Walk. Please, it is not too late to make your donation to the ACB Walk. It is not too late to share your link with your family and friends because we accept donations from anybody. So thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I thought the walking in was just great the other night. Everybody did such a good job of that. Yeah. You can. Dan's going to make an announcement.
Good morning, everyone. First, thank you all for your patience and flexibility. I just wanted to remind everybody that we are so excited to offer you the opportunity to join the monthly monetary support program. We had a table out in front of the general session as people were coming in today. I think it's still manned if you would like to take advantage of the program, and they'll be there tomorrow. So the monthly monetary support program is a program where you can give as little as $10 a month and split that with your state or special interest affiliate. So it's a really wonderful opportunity to help fund both the American Council of the Blind and your state or special interest affiliate. Right now, the program brings in a little over $100,000 a year for all of our organizations, so it's really helped so many of us to do the work we want to do for ACB and for our affiliates. If you want to join or learn more about it, there's two ways you can get involved. The first, besides going to the marketplace table, you can go on email and send your name in, and they'll get in touch with you. And that email address is askacbmms@gmail.com. So askacbmms@gmail.com. Or you can call the phone number, toll-free phone number at 888-999-3190. I'll repeat that one more time, 888-999-3190, and leave a message. And Jean Mann is manning both the email and the phone number, and she'll get back in touch with you, our MMS committee chair. So thanks to all of you, and please consider joining MMS. It really makes a difference for all of us. Thank you.
Madam President?
Madam President? Madam President? ACB students would like to thank all those who bought newspapers in the newspaper fundraiser. That's a fundraiser for ACB students, so I don't have a number in front of me, but thank you to all of those who, and thanks to Sharon Lovering and the ACB Publications crew for working so hard on that newspaper. And we just want to thank you. It's one of our biggest, if not our biggest fundraiser. So on behalf of the American Council of Blind Students, thank you for purchasing your newspaper.
All right, excellent. How are we doing on the Zoom?
We're switching to Wi-Fi. The hotel lost power on their router.
Oh, no. Madam President?
Okay. I'm sorry, are we up, Rick? No, we're still not up. All right, then we're going to shift some things around.
Madam President?
Yeah? Well, that was enough of Ray. Thank you.
Madam President,
Yeah,
this is
yes.
Eva from Texas, and I have 2 tickets to the Voices Around the World luncheon. We overbooked, so if anyone would like them, come see me at the Texas table. This is Eva.
All right.
Madam President,
Yes.
this is Georgia. The Peach chapter of the Georgia GCB is having a candle raffle. They are offering 2 chances to win $25 credit towards any candle or wax melt of your choice. Raffle tickets are $2 each. They will be sold in person at the table during general council or general sessions. And then they also will have a table set up at the ACB marketplace on Wednesday morning from 7:30 to 11 a.m. And they will have the drawing on Thursday evening at 5 p.m. So come see everybody at the Georgia table.
Madam President?
Yes?
This is Ray Campbell. All I'm trying to do, Albert Anderson at the Illinois table needs help with an ALD when somebody has a minute.
All right.
Madam President,
Yes.
Louisiana, this is Herbert, President of the LCB.
Yes.
The Louisiana affiliate is having a raffle. It's a 40-inch TV, an Lexus, and a $50 cash. Drawing would be on September the 21st, 2024. Winner need not be present. Tickets are $5. See a Louisiana delegate to get a ticket.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Also, if I have a message from Janet that says if you would like to purchase banquet tickets, you need to do so by 2 p.m. today. Otherwise, you can't eat in the banquet. And we'll make sure there's a big hamster at the door to keep you from doing that. Yeah, so please purchase your tickets by 2 p.m. We are still not up, right? Is this correct? Okay. Are we, what's our status, please? Huh? Okay, good. Because I'm going to make a...
Check. Hey, the hotel is here. Their servers went down. They say about 3 minutes till we get back up.
Okay, I missed part of that. 3 minutes. Okay, then I think we'll wait 3 minutes, and then if we don't, we're going to move to some other parts of our program. But I'm really sensitive to the fact that our Zoom people are part of this, and if the room went down, we'd stop. So
absolutely.
Yeah, we need to. All right. So we will. Yeah. Oh, Scott would like to make an announcement. Hey. I can sell an announcement to Scott. How much, Scott?
Yeah. $5?
Yeah.
Wow, time, oh boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Boy, this announcement's really getting more valuable the more we talk. Yeah, they're charging me for announcements up here. I don't know. It's not a last minute announcement. We had 3, so I'm only doing the first minute or 2. Anyway, what? Here, what I want to tell you is that if you have taken any pictures this week, which a few of you have, please send them, if you would like, to communications@acb.org. And just put in there who's in the picture and what event it was at. And Mike Johnson, who works on our social media posting, will check that out and look to get a lot more pictures up on the Facebook and the Insta thing and all that stuff. So send pictures to communications@acb.org, and you may become famous. You may go virus. That's right. Yeah. No, virus.
Madam President?
Yes.
This is Amanda Selm, President of ACB Next Generation. I just wanted to remind people that if you renew or join ACB Next Generation during the ACB Conference and Convention, which is through Friday, July 12th, your dues is paid through until 2025. Our dues are $15 a year, or you can become a life member for $150. Thank you.
All right, excellent. Okay. All right, I'm hoping that we're just about back and that
We are.
Ooh, all right, yay. Do we have both the Zooms? Do we have all the Zooms back?
We have both Zooms on and running.
All righty, thank you so much. Okay, we are now pretty off schedule, so I'm going to remind you that all of our speakers are part of other panels later today and tomorrow, and so we will probably have to forego questions, and we'll probably have to forego the break, but we're going to do the best we can. I'm going to turn the meeting over to Denise Colley, and she will do the affiliate roll call for us. Thank you all for your patience.
Good morning. All right. The first states I'm going to be calling, so please either get yourself unmuted or get yourself to a microphone. Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, and Connecticut. Alabama, 4 votes.
Good morning. Alabama, 4 votes. Donna Brown.
4 Brown. Arizona, Council of the Blind, 2 votes.
Arizona, 1.5 for Donna, 0.5 for Chris.
1.5 Brown, 0.5 Hunsinger. Arkansas Council of the Blind, 1 vote.
Arkansas votes for Donna Brown.
1 vote, Brown. California Council of the Blind, 17 votes.
Hello, hello. California votes 14 Brown and 3 Hunsinger.
14 Brown, 3 Hunsinger. The next states I will be calling are Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Illinois, and Indiana. Colorado Council of the Visually Impaired and Blind, 1 vote.
Good morning. Colorado votes 1 vote for Donna Brown.
1 vote, Brown. Thank you. Connecticut, 1 vote.
Connecticut votes 1 vote for Donna Brown.
1 vote, Brown. Delaware, Council of the Blind and Visually Impaired, 1 vote. Delaware. Going on, Florida Council of the Blind, 20 votes.
Florida votes 19 Brown, 1 Hunsinger.
19 Brown, 1 Hunsinger. Georgia Council of the Blind, 5 votes.
Georgia has 3 votes for Brown and 2 votes for Christina.
3 Brown, 2 Hunsinger. Hawaii Association of the Blind, 3 votes.
You're right here, guys. Here you go.
Sorry about that. Hawaii Association of the Blind, 3 votes Brown.
3 Brown. The next group I will be calling are Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Bluegrass, Louisiana, and Maine. Illinois Council of the Blind, 3 votes.
Illinois votes 2.5 Brown, 0.5 Hunsinger.
2.5 Brown, 0.5 Hunsinger. Thank you. Indiana, 4 votes.
Okay, Indiana, 3 votes for Brown, 1 for Hunsinger.
Indiana votes 3 Brown, 1 Hunsinger. Iowa Council of the Blind, United Blind, 3 votes.
Iowa Council votes 2.5 Brown, 0.5 Hunsinger.
2.5 Brown, 0.5 Hunsinger. Kansas Association of the Blind and Visually Impaired, 3 votes. Kansas. Kentucky Council of the Blind, 13 votes.
Kentucky Council of the Blind votes all of our votes for Donna Brown.
13 Brown.
Kansas.
Council of the Blind, 3 votes.
Kansas votes 3 votes Hunsinger.
Brown, 0.5 Hunsinger.
2.5 Brown, 0.5 Hunsinger. Thank you. Indiana, 4 votes. Whoa. Thank you.
Okay, Indiana, 3 votes for Brown, 1 for Hunsinger.
Indiana votes 3 Brown, 1 Hunsinger. Iowa Council of
Kansas Association, Michael, was that 3 Brown? 3 Hunsinger. Thank you. Kentucky. Bluegrass Council of the Blind, 4 votes.
Bluegrass Council, 4 votes for Donna Brown.
4 Brown. Louisiana Council of the Blind, 3 votes.
Louisiana, 3 votes, Donald Brown.
3 Brown. The next group I will be calling are Maryland, Bay State, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, and Missouri. ACB of Maine. Hold on. 2 votes. ACB of Maine. ACB of Maryland, 3 votes.
This is Gary Messman from Maryland. We cast our votes 2.5 Brown, 0.5 Hunsinger.
2.5 Brown, 0.5 Hunsinger. Bay State.
Denise, ACB of Maine, votes 1 vote Brown, 1 vote Hunsinger.
Thank you. Maine votes 1 vote, 1 Brown, 1 Hunsinger. Who did I just do? Maryland? Thank you. Bay State Council of the Blind, 8 votes.
Bay State Council votes 4 Brown, 4 Hunsinger.
4 Brown, 4 Hunsinger. Thank you. Michigan Council of the Blind, 5 votes.
Michigan casts 4 votes Brown, 1 vote Hunsinger.
4 Brown, 1 Hunsinger. Minnesota, 3 votes.
ACB of Minnesota, 3 votes, Donna Brown.
3 Brown. Mississippi, 3 votes.
Mississippi cast 3 votes Brown.
3 Brown. Next group I will be calling are Nebraska, Nevada, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, and Ohio. Missouri Council of the Blind, 16 votes.
Greg Holland from Missouri Council of the Blind, which has 14.5 Brown, 1.5 Hunsinger.
14.5 Brown, 1.5 Hunsinger. Nebraska, 1 vote.
1 vote Brown.
1 Brown. Nevada Council of the Blind, 3 votes. Nevada?
Nevada votes 2 votes for Brown.
You got 3 votes, Donna.
Okay, add 1 more.
Okay. She's going to love you for life. Nevada votes 3 votes Brown. New Jersey Council of the Blind, 2 votes.
New Jersey cast 2 votes Brown.
2 votes Brown. New York, 9 votes.
ACB of New York cast 8 votes for Brown, 1 vote for Hunsinger.
8 Brown, 1 Hunsinger. North Carolina, 4 votes.
North Carolina votes 2 Brown, 2 Hunsinger.
2 Brown, 2 Hunsinger.
Thank you.
North Dakota Association of the Blind, 5 votes.
North Dakota, 5 votes Brown.
5 Brown. The next group I will be calling are Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Palmetto, South Dakota, and Tennessee. ACB of Ohio, 8 votes.
Okay. All right. We have 5 votes for Brown, 3 votes for Hunsinger.
5 Brown, 3 Hunsinger. Oklahoma Council of the Blind, 17 votes.
Oklahoma Council of the Blind, 17 votes Brown.
17 Brown. Oregon, 4 votes.
Oregon, 4 votes Brown.
4 Brown. Pennsylvania Council of the Blind, 7 votes. Pennsylvania?
Yes.
There you are.
0.5 for Brown, 6.5 for Hunsinger.
0.5 Brown, 6.5 Hunsinger. Palmetto Council of the Blind, 1 vote.
Palmetto, 1 Brown.
1 Brown. South Dakota Association of the Blind, 3 votes.
South Dakota cast 3 votes for Donna Brown.
3 Brown. And the next group I will be calling are Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, and Mountain State. Tennessee Council of the Blind, 6 votes.
Tennessee, 6 votes, Donna Brown.
4 votes. Oregon.
Vermont, 3 votes for Brown.
Hold on. Hold on just a second. Tennessee was 6 Brown.
Yes.
Texas, 11 votes.
Right here.
How many did you say ahead, Denise?
11.
11. 10 for Donna Brown, 1 for Hunsinger.
10 Brown, 1 Hunsinger. Utah Council of the Blind, 14 votes. Utah?
Utah votes 14 Brown.
14 Brown. Vermont Council of the Blind, 3 votes.
Vermont Council for the Blind, 3 Donna Brown.
3 Brown. ACB of Virginia, 3 votes.
ACB of Virginia, 2 Brown, 1 Hunsinger.
2 Brown, 1 Hunsinger. Washington Council of the Blind, 17 votes.
WCB votes 14.5 Brown, 2.5 Hunsinger.
14.5 Brown, 2.5 Hunsinger. And then I will be calling Wisconsin, Wyoming, Alliance on Aging and Vision Loss, blind teachers, visually impaired attorneys, and diabetics. Mountain State Council of the Blind, 2 votes.
Mountain State Council of the Blind is proud to cast 2 votes for our own Donna Brown.
2 Brown. ACB of Wisconsin, 1 vote.
ACB of Wisconsin is happy to cast its one and only vote for Donna Brown.
1 Brown. Wyoming Council of the Blind, 1 vote. Wyoming, Alliance on Aging and Vision Loss, 7 votes.
They moved it on me. AAVL votes 3.5 Brown, 3.5 Hunsinger.
3.5 Brown, 3.5 Hunsinger. American Association of Blind Teachers, 2 votes.
American Association of Blind Teachers votes 2 votes, Donna Brown.
2 Brown. American Association of Visually Impaired Attorneys, 1 vote.
1 vote Brown.
Excuse me?
1 vote Brown.
Thank you. 1 Brown. Next group I will call are families, government employees, next generation, Lions, radio amateurs, and students. ACB Diabetics in Action, 4 votes.
ACB Diabetics in Action, 3.5 Brown, 0.5 Hunsinger.
3.5 Brown, 0.5 Hunsinger. ACB Families, 4 votes.
ACB Families cast 3.5 Brown, 0.5 Hunsinger.
3.5 Brown, 0.5 Hunsinger. ACB Government Employees, 1 vote.
Government Employees, 0.5 Brown, 0.5 Hunsinger.
0.5 Brown, 0.5 Hunsinger. ACB Next Generation, 4 votes.
ACB Next Generation proudly casts all 4 votes for Donna Brown.
4 Brown. American Council of Blind Lions, 4 votes.
American Council of the Blind Lions, 3.5 Brown, 0.5 Hunsinger.
3.5 Brown, 0.5 Hunsinger. ACB Radio Amateurs, 1 vote.
ACB Radio Amateurs cast its 1 vote for Donna Brown.
1 Brown. Then the last group I will be calling are Blind Information Technology Specialists, Blind LGBT Pride International, Braille Revival League, Council of Citizens with Low Vision, and Friends in Art. Excuse me, that isn't the last group. Friends in Art. ACB Students, 1 vote.
Sorry, did you call blind information technology specialists yet?
No, not yet. No, not yet.
ACB students votes 1 for Donna
We
Brown.
cannot hear it all.
ACB students votes 1 for Donna Brown.
She didn't have to run so far.
Sounds like it's completely gone.
All right, hold on, guys.
I kept saying we couldn't hear, but they weren't interested in hearing that.
Well, now they're screwed.
Can you guys hear?
We totally lost it now.
Can you hear
Yeah,
it?
we're not hearing them at all now.
Yeah, the
I
last
heard,
one I heard was
I heard
Harvey.
call bits.
I tried to listen on Alexa because I couldn't think this way. Whether it's whether it got counted.
You came in right on time. You came in on time.
Alexa is 2 minutes behind, so you can't
Yeah.
count on that.
I discovered that.
Yeah.
Wish there was a way we could text somebody.
Nominating committee room, we are hearing you in Zoom
We're
if
back.
you're hearing us,
I'm
so
gonna
we
leave.
will attempt to get
Still
some
can't hear
communications
it
across.
though.
Thank
It's
you.
all muffled. I can't.
We're back.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, you can't go
All
by
right,
the
can you-
ACB media.
Can you guys hear us?
the special interest affiliates out of
I'm
order.
really mad because we got 25
Okay,
votes.
guys, they're hearing us. They're hearing us in the room and on the, because I have it going on link. They're hearing us, but we can't hear them. Yep, they're all laughing
Oh,
in
yeah.
the room listening to us. All right, I think we should all mute.
Guys in the delegate room, can one person respond as to whether or not you're hearing us right now?
Absolutely.
Delegate room, can anybody hear me?
Hold the audio.
I can hear you, but it's kind of low and sporadic.
Very muffled.
Very, very muffled. I can't understand that.
All talk from this room is going live into the main room, so I don't know what other to say about that, but they're hearing us.
Delegates, if you would kindly sit tight. We can hear you. We will work through the issues, but we can hear you well enough that you can place your votes, I think.
They can't hear us, though. Okay.
No, we're not.
Okay, can you guys hear me in the Zoom room?
Very barely.
Very barely, they're saying. They're saying they can hear, but very barely.
We have very few left. I'm going to try this. We are almost done in the delegate room. So what I would like to do is have delegates, one at a time that are in that room, give us the remaining vote.
That's the wrong box.
And we will try to work this through. I know you're having difficulty hearing. We've got that loud and clear. They are working on it, but I would like to finish the vote.
We don't know where we stopped, I don't think.
So you tell us, Denise, where you want to start.
All right. Blind Information Technology Specialists, 25 votes. Diane, can you hear me?
Well, that'll take 2 minutes.
Rick, you're about 2 minutes behind hearing us on the stream.
Can you hear us now, folks, delegates?
That's much better.
Okay.
Much better.
No, it's.
All right. Blind Information Technology Specialists, 25 votes.
Blind Information Technology Specialist casts 20 votes for Brown and 5 votes for Hunsinger.
20 Brown, 5 Hunsinger. Blind LGBT Pride International, 6 votes.
Aye, 5.5 for Hunsinger and 0.5 for Brown.
0.5 Brown, 5.5 Hunsinger. Braille Revival League, 12 votes.
8 votes Brown, 4 votes Hunsinger.
8 Brown, 4 Hunsinger. Council of Citizens with Low Vision International, 10 votes.
CCLVI 9.5 Donna Brown, 0.5 Chris Hunsinger. And I think this is a great reason why we need to have our conventions in person only.
$9.5 Brown, 0.5 Hunsinger. Friends in Art, 2 votes. Friends in Art. Guide dog users, 16 votes.
Guide dog users cast 11 votes for Brown and 5 votes for Christine.
11 Brown, 5 Hunsinger. Independent visually impaired entrepreneurs, 1 vote.
1 vote Brown.
1 Brown. Library Users of America, 7 votes.
Library Users of America cast 5.5 votes for Brown, 1.5 votes for Hunsinger.
5.5 Brown, 1.5 Hunsinger. Randolph Shepherd Vendors of America, 13 votes. Randolph Shepherd. It's got to be Randall Crosby or Scott Edgen. Veterans of ACB, 1 vote.
Veterans of ACB is proud to cast their 1 vote for Donna Brown.
1 Brown. Okay, here we go. Whoops. Delaware Council of the Blind and Visually Impaired, 1 vote.
Audio.
DCBVI cast 1 vote for Donna Brown.
1 Brown. Wyoming, 1 vote. Wyoming. Friends in Art, 2 votes. Randolph Shepherd Vendors of America, 13 votes. Madam Chair, that completes the call of the roll.
All right. Thank you. And I just do really want to ask for everyone's patience as we work through various glitches. There always are some, and those of you who are delegates in the Zoom, be aware that when you start talking, we do hear you usually, so please just be patient with everyone. So we're going to close the Zoom room, and we're going to ask everyone to come back as soon as we have the count. So are we ready with the count over there? They're working on that. Are we ready? they're still double checking, triple checking the count, and then we will be able to move on to the next portion of our program. They're counting, they have all these beans and they're, dropping them from one jar to the other jar. How many beans are in that jar and how many beans are in this jar? And so it does take a moment for them to verify. I'm supposed to sing the Jeopardy song for you? No. All right. Yeah, just a moment. We will have the count. And then we'll ask anyone in the Zoom side to come back to the regular side. We're standing by for the count. Following the count, we'll be turning the program over to ACB's first Vice President, David Trott, who will be presiding officer for today. Tomorrow, the presiding officer will be Second Vice President Ray Campbell, and on Thursday, it will be Treasurer Michael Garrett. And Denise will not be the presiding officer because we're just putting her through the paces every single day, and we're a day shorter this time. So that's how we arranged for all of that.
Okay, Deb.
Are we ready?
We are ready.
All righty, let's have the count. Thank you.
So I will do the percentages to start with, you guys. So the grand total percentage for Donna Brown, 75.4%. Chris Hunsinger, 24.6%. And then to break it down between the individual vote and the affiliate vote, the individual vote was 71.7 for Donna Brown, and 28.3 for Chris Hunsinger. The affiliate vote was 82.2 for Donna Brown and 17.8% for Chris Hunsinger.
All right. Congratulations, Donna Brown. Donna, would you like to say a word?
Madam President, may I say a few words?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, ACB. I just thank you for the confidence that you have in me and for the support. I will do everything I can to help move ACB forward. It's a team effort. Helen Keller once said, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. So join the board in helping us move ACB forward. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, I am now going to turn the microphone over to ACB First Vice President David Trott from Talladega, Alabama, and he will take us into a very exciting...
Okay, hold on. I'm going to give that back to you.
Point of order, yes?
Wait, I'm getting the mic.
Thank you for the percentages, but we are are usually, in fact, always have the total votes and the total individual vote and the total delegate vote.
All
And would
right.
you please provide that?
Yes.
Thank you.
I sure can. So the grand total number of votes was 764 and a half. Oh, wait, just a second here. Total votes was 1,014. The number of votes for Donna Brown, grand total was 764 and a half. The total for Christine Hunsinger was 249.5. For the affiliate vote, Donna Brown received 292.5. Chris received 63.5. On the individual vote, Donna received 472 and Chris received 186. I will do that going forward. Sorry.
All right. Thank you for that. Now, David.
Good morning, ACB. I tell you, it's great. I've always wanted to do this day because it means so much to me to be able to take you places you've never been before. But I honestly never thought it would take us this long to get to Trinidad. Okay, folks, we're really behind, but we got some great speakers, and we do want you to stay and hear them. First, we're going to start with our international speaker. Our international speaker is Kenneth Surratt. He is the Executive Officer of Trinidad and Tobago Blind Welfare Association, Port of Spain, Trinidad. Thank you. And he's making his way to the podium. And while he's making his way to the podium, you know, we have a lot of guest agencies this year, but I want to give a special shout out to the I'll get it right in a minute. San Francisco Lighthouse for the Blind. You've come a long way to see what we're about and to be a part of what we do, and we appreciate all the agencies being here. Okay, while he's coming to the podium, I'll keep running my mouth. Which, you know, I'm kind of shy, so y'all bear with me. But I'm, you know, this trip to Trinidad, folks, is going to be great. It's going to be worth the layover. Just stick with us. All right, fasten your seat belts and get ready.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for this warm welcome, and it is a pleasure to be here with you today, and I'm so happy that Kim and members of the ACB invited me to present today. So today we're going to So today you're going to learn a little bit about the history of the Trinidad and Tobago Blind Welfare Association, the kind of work we are doing, issue and concerns that affect persons who are blind in Trinidad and Tobago, and various initiatives we are working on. Who is Kenneth Surratt? My name is Kenneth Surratt. I am 56 years old. I was born in 1968. And you know, one of the beautiful thing about the internet, prior to using computers and being aware of what is happening in the world, I was locked into a certain role or a mode where persons who are blind, I thought we had limitations, that we can't achieve anything. So I grew up on an estate. I don't know, people in this room might be familiar about estates. We didn't have running water, no lights. You know, some people might say we were poor, but I don't think so. I was happy. You know, so after that, the doctors identified that I have an eye problem, and I went to the school for blind children. And what that did for me, I started learning Braille. And I started to learn blindness issues, you know, or blindness culture, where I learned how to take care of myself as, you know, the other blindness training beside the academics. After I left school, I went on to do my associate degree in business administration. But, you know, I was so limited, I went to, I don't know if you're all familiar with sheltered workshop. Sheltered workshop where you go and you make handicraft items for sale. And I made different type of basket, with cane chairs and so on for sale, and I generated my income from there. From there, I was able to move up from one level of the organization. I went on to become an instructor, then a manager, then a social worker, and now I am the executive officer of the Trinidad and Tobago Changing Lives. And I have some special challenges because you have the old trying to keep you back, where people believe that persons who are blind should go to a segregated school, they should be in segregated work, they should also be limit their life to grants instead of, you know, going and enjoy life, going out there and being educated, being employed. And that is a challenge we have in where people want to remain in the old way, and there's people who want the new way. So we are the crossroad of Trinidad and Tobago, and I am playing a pivotal role in making that change. I am from an island called Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know if you're all familiar with it. It is the most southerly island of the Caribbean. We are very close to Venezuela. So if you are ever visiting, please come to our sunny island. We are known for calypso music, soca music. We have different genres. The beautiful thing about Trinidad and Tobago is that we have people from all over the world. So I am from indentureship, where after slavery was completed, the British wanted other form of employment. So my foreparents came from India on the first boat, one of the boats that came from India to Trinidad and Tobago, where we had quite a number of East Indians coming to Trinidad and Tobago, and I am a descendant of that group of persons. So I am, as you call it, East Indian by descent. So we have people from Africa, the Middle East, and different parts of the world. So Trinidad is a melting pot, a small island, approximately 1.3 million people, but we are a melting pot, and it's not like America. You have plenty land space so people can live in different areas. We are forced to live together, and you'll be surprised to know there might be a mosque. Next to the mosque will be a church. Next to the church will be a temple, and people are comfortable sharing in each other's culture. We celebrate Diwali, Eid al-Fitr, Christmas. We are in everything. I enjoy all the festivals in Trinidad and Tobago and the food. So when you come to Trinidad, you will have fun. So we got our independence in 1962. The Queen was still our head of state. And in 1976, Trinidad and Tobago became a Republican nation. So we have our own head of state, which is our own president, which is a ceremonial president. And we have our prime minister that comes out of the executive. So my organization, we are the first organization in Trinidad and Tobago and in the Caribbean that started work for the blind. And that organization, well, the present organization, Trinidad and Tobago, it was started by a guy named James Alves. He was Guyanese born, he grew up in England, but why? Okay. Yes, are you all hearing much better? Yes, so Trinidad and Tobago Blind Welfare Association was started by a guy named James Alves. He was Guyanese born, he went to school in England, and it was alleged that while playing cricket, a ball struck him in his eyes and he got blind. So because of illness, he was advised to go back to warmer climate. So he went to Jamaica to start a specific organization for the blind, and they didn't accept it, so he ended up in Trinidad and Tobago. And thankfully, based on the Anglican Archbishop and the Catholic Archbishop, they got together and helped him to start the Blind Welfare Association. Initially, he started off by registering about 500 persons who were blind at that time who were begging on the streets. And the main objective at that time was to get persons who are blind off the street, which he did. So he started the Trinidad and Tobago Blind Welfare Association, and people came there to learn basketry. They came there to learn Braille, and from there they made products that we sold to the general public. Also, there was a home for the blind men, there was a home for blind women, and also there was a boarding school for children who were blind. So everything was segregated around that area, which was 1914, the 18th of May, 1914, when the Blind Welfare Association started. Presently, the Blind Welfare Association, the structure of Blind Welfare Association, we have a membership where anybody could join the organization. Then you elect a council of 12 elected members, and 6 persons who are appointed by the different ministries of the government. So we have a total of 18 members who serve on our council. From the council person that they hire, it is the executive officer. So the council is my employer, and I am responsible for hiring all other staff and carrying out the instruction of the council. The unusual, because of our size, Trinidad and Tobago Blind Welfare Association is both a service provider and also an advocate for service and products from different areas. So we not only, we deal with services like we teach mobility, orientation, we teach Braille, and also we advocate for products and services to be more accessible for persons who are blind. Because of the size of our nation again, sometimes our staff have to multitask, so it is difficult to get persons with specific tasks to do specific job. So we have persons might be doing clerical work, and sometimes they have to assist with training. Some of our achievement, we dealt with making the TT dollar accessible. I know you all have been on a challenge to get your currency accessible, but the Blind Welfare Association, we went to the road of polymer. So all our currency, different denomination, it is a polymer note, and it has raised tactile features on it, and also it has large print that persons who are low vision can use it. Also, we got it on I hope one day the US dollar could be accessible, because I have to use my cash reader to know your money. So I think sometimes we may be having challenges. I know you have your own challenge. We did ratify the Marrakesh Treaty, and also we amended our copyright law to accommodate the print disabled and persons who are blind. So now the Trinidad and Tobago Blind Welfare Association and our National Library, we could convert any printed text in an accessible format without permission from the author. So that presently the law is in place, and you know the beautiful thing about that, the year of election in Trinidad and Tobago was the same year we were campaigning to have the Marrakesh Treaty ratified and specific legislation passed at our parliament. and that needed a special majority. So imagine it is an election year. The government does not have that special majority. They needed the support of the opposition. And because of our advocacy, we were able to convince both houses of parliament to pass this law to make printed material accessible for the print disabled. So the law is one thing, have it implemented is another challenge. So we are working with our National Library Service to have it done. We also got assistance from the Accessible Book Consortium to conduct training program in Trinidad and Tobago to help us achieve that goal. Our ratification of the United Nations Charter on the Rights of Persons with Disability in 2015, Trinidad and Tobago did ratify that charter, so it is one of our policy documents. I think you all are still waiting to ratify the UNCRPD, am I correct? Yeah, so again, even though we may be small and we may be having our challenges, we also are ahead of you by having the UNCRPD ratified and ready for implementation. We have some challenges. When we close the School for Blind Children, the domestic services, because in the past, we had a school for blind children, so children will go there. I attended the School for Blind Children, and I went home only 3 times for the year. So it would have been, we call it the Easter vacation. You may call it the summer vacation. We used to call it the August vacation, and also for Christmas. So I saw my siblings and my parents probably only 3 times for the year, and that was a challenge. What we observe in Trinidad and Tobago, parents are no longer interested having their children in institution, and I support that 100%. I believe children should be home with their parents on afternoon. Because I remember prior to going to the School for Blind Children, in the morning, you'll go by your dad as a child to get a little hug and so on, and spend time with him. When I went to the school, I got up in the morning and there were no parents, there was no one, you were all by yourself, and all you had was your other friends who were blind. Because sometimes the staff all day, they probably were just doing their job. And with boarding school, they may come with quite a number of abuses taking place and so on. So I'm very pleased that children are at home with the parents. So this brings a whole new challenge, because presently the blind welfare servicing about 100 children under the age of 16 in our mainstream education system. We are providing their textbooks at no cost in large print, braille, digital format. We also provide the technology. But what do we observe? A lot of children, they are not learning blindness skills. With a boarding school, you would have learned how to take care of personal grooming and so on. And we are having a challenge where parents are not spending time with their children to give them that blindness, if you may call it the blindness training. So that is a challenge that we need to overcome, and we may not have the staffing to serve the entire country. So we would like to get more and more persons trained to get into the community, get into the rural areas, and assist children with, outside of the curriculum, some of the blindness skills you should have. We still have a school for blind children, but it is a day school, and presently there's only about 25 children. So you could see we have the majority of children in mainstream education. And we have some new challenges going to be taking place as we move forward, because when these children graduate from university or from the different centers, we have to find employment. Previously, the Blind Welfare Association was a major employer of persons who are blind. Now handicraft is no longer relevant, the repair of chairs and basketry, because a lot of people, because of how the world is moving, you're getting so many things in plastic and different format, and basketry is no longer relevant. Even the production of the raw material, rattan, it is not as good as it used to be in the past, so the quality is not good. So basketry and the Blind Welfare Association being the main employer of persons who are blind is no longer relevant. So as executive officer, I have a nightmare on my hand. If when this 100 children leave school and they're looking for work, what do I do? Because being blind, I may not be able to run away and hide from them. I may have a problem. So we have to find alternative form of employment for persons who are blind. So we need to, get our advocacy high to let people know it is good business to hire persons who are blind. And we are dealing with the DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. So we are hoping at the university level that there could be a special component for whenever you are training persons who in human resource management, HRM. It is not only about teaching, getting the best for the job. Also, we want the workplace to be diverse. The workplace must have a little bit of everybody. People with disabilities, people with different religious background, people with different ethnicities. It builds a much better workplace. Similar to how you may have the schools, you have people with different backgrounds attending school and sharing in each other's culture. We want the workplace to be the same. So it is important that companies, when they're going out there, they should make it their goal or their responsibility to ensure that the workplace is diverse. It is equitable because someone who is blind may need probably the technology, screen readers, they may need refreshable braille display, some of them may need large print. So we want the workplace to be diverse. We want the workplace to be equitable, so you design the workplace to accommodate persons with special needs. Oh, well, I don't like to use the special needs, but different needs, so that they could perform their work. And also, we want the workplace to be inclusive. And you can imagine a world, a workplace, a school, a community where we all live together. Because in Trinidad earlier, we started having, they want to put all persons who are blind to live in one area. And so that level of segregation, we've been working together with our Housing Development Corporation to have that change. Because we want each village, each community in Trinidad and Tobago to have persons with disabilities, persons with different ethnic background, religious background, living together to build a better and stronger Trinidad and Tobago. And by extension, this is the world we want. We want a world where we could share experiences. So what you are good in, I hope one day to come through the ACB, that you all could come to Trinidad and Tobago and help us to build our capacity. And what we are good at, we could share with you, so you have that constant flow of sharing of information, so that we could be a better place, a better country, a better world, a world where we could enjoy each other's company without any bias, without any discrimination. What we also try to do to assist the children who are not getting the blindness training, we close school around the August vacation, as we may call it. You call it the summer. We close for about 8 weeks. So during that period, we want to repurpose our building, the building that used to be the school for blind children. We are going to repurpose that building so that we could run training camps for children to come there and learn blindness skill, a little bit of plumbing, how to probably join a pipeline, put up a pipe at home, change a light bulb, how to plug on things in a socket, how to cook. So different skills that you could learn, so you could learn to do it yourself at home, because we have quite a number of persons who are blind, learn these skills, and we want to repurpose the building to deal with this level of training for children who are blind. And the technology has changed the world also. Because of technology, when I went to school as a child, Braille was done manually. So you had someone coming into the school, someone will read, and then someone will put that stuff onto Braille. Then you will take that Braille. I don't know how many of you in the room knows about the thermoform paper, where you put this paper Braille into a machine. You put the thermoform paper on top of this Braille. You close the machine and leave it there probably for a couple of seconds. And because of heat, the Braille shows up on the thermoform paper. People around here familiar with that technology, or you're too young? Well, I'm pretty old, so I'm 56 years, so I went through that change. And sometimes in school, while you're in school, you may be on chapter 6 in school, but you're now getting chapter 1 in Braille. So you're always behind in the school. But because of technology, we could have Braille in real time. And you know, visiting the different booths, what we are observing, they are lowering the cost of refreshable Braille displays. And I am so happy to hear that because of our nation and most of, persons who are blind, let us say you have a home with one child who's blind and probably 3 other children who are sighted, the parents will tend to put resources in the hands of the sighted child and not the child who is blind. And we at the Blind Welfare want to change that, and by reducing the cost of technology, we are able at the Blind Welfare Association to try our best to put that resource into the hands of the child so that our children who are blind could have equal opportunities in school and also to live life after school and get jobs. So we are way behind, but we will not stop trying. Another problem I need your help in, imagine we have children at school. Some of them use large print, some use technology, like computers and so on and Braille display, and some use regular paper Braille to write the exam, to study. But when they reach to write exam, sometimes they want to give them a reader-writer. That is a disadvantage for the child who is blind, who learn with a certain medium of the school, and then when you're ready to write exam, they provide you the medium you're not accustomed, you're not comfortable with. And recently, the way we fought that battle is having our attorney constantly write pre-action protocol letters to the examination board that these children were granted reasonable accommodation to write the exam, but on the day, they are not getting their exam in a medium that they are comfortable in. So we want that to end. We want children, when you go to school, and you learn in a particular medium, you should be giving your exam in that medium. So it is a challenge because in not only Trinidad and Tobago we are dealing with. When we are writing, we may call secondary school or university level, you are dealing with the Caribbean. So now we have to get our Caribbean board agreeing to this arrangement because we are having difficulties. So we need that kind of help to lift that level of advocacy so our children can have exam in the medium that they went to school and what they used to learn at school. Because it is a disadvantage, it is not fair to them because they may not perform well at the exam. When I was at Costard and I was doing my exam at college level, the lecturer has a level of discretion. So when I was writing my exam, I would go to my laptop and she would make sure, get someone to watch me to make sure I'm not copying and pasting. So, it is possible that we could have children write the exam using the technology, using the medium they are comfortable with, and also keep maintaining the integrity of the exam. So it is not impossible. We have to stop saying why it can't be done and say how it could be done. Another method we are using to work on, my problem I have when these children leave school and looking for work, I already started with my team meeting with our Ministry of Labor, and the Ministry of Labor is responsible for policies pertaining to employment in the country. So we are working alongside our Ministry of Labor to have, probably work from home policy so that persons who are blind could work with that system. Also to encourage employers to employ persons who are blind. There's another issue, I don't know if you face that same issue pertaining to grants. In Trinidad and Tobago, persons who are blind or disabled, they get a grant from the government. But the grant says, if you get to work, it will cut. So we have persons who are blind, have the degree at home, but they are scared to go out and look for work. Because if they get this work, they will lose the grant. And some of them believe, better play for what I can see and not sure what I will get. So I don't know if in the United States, if you all have that same problem. We call it grants. But so we need to, I am trying to negotiate with the government to call us probably maybe an unemployment grant or maybe a support system, whether you're working or not, you should get it because remember, someone who is blind, it may cost them more to get to work or put systems in place. So it's something we're looking at is either it could be called an unemployment grant. So if you get work, you lose it. But if you lose your job, you get it back immediately. Or B, it could be a support system to supplement your work. So it is, the jury is out on that, but we need to give it some level of discussion so that persons who are blind could, not lose their benefit if they are employed. As a result of the grants, we are seeing people not going out there and looking for work. We have another issue pertaining to access to transportation. What we observe in Trinidad and Tobago, there's an increase in crime. And years ago, persons who are blind will travel. And I remember a joke some years ago, one of my blind colleagues gave to me, probably in the 70s, a bandit went onto a maxi taxi, that is a minibus like, and robbed everybody, but he didn't rob the person who is blind. So my friend who was blind said, you rob everybody, look, here's $10. He said, no, you keep that. So the bandits long ago had a discretion. Nowadays, what we observe, bandits robbing everybody. So we have that challenge with public transportation in Trinidad and Tobago. So what we observe, a lot of persons who are blind are using this ride share, similar to what you have like Uber. A lot of companies in Trinidad and Tobago taxi service, they got together and form their little organization and they have these ride share. But the challenge with that ride share system, sometimes the app, it is not accessible for persons who are blind. So we trying to advocate to make the app accessible so persons who are blind could move around the country safely and comfortably. Because of the UNCRPD, recently the Trinidad and Tobago government put out a draft of specific laws to protect persons who are blind or persons with disabilities. I know you have the ADA Act, and your ADA Act probably is about 35 years old. We are now, so while we ratified the UNCRPD, you still have specific laws to protect persons with disability in your country. Trinidad and Tobago is now working on that aspect of specific laws for the disabled. Next is an election year in Trinidad and Tobago, so I'm hoping that this specific legislation can hit the floor of the parliament before election so we could have specific laws to protect persons with disability. Presently, we are at the mercy of people willingness to treat with persons with disabilities to ensure that they have the necessary assistance. But once we have specific laws to protect persons with disabilities, I am hoping that, like they always say, policies tell you what to do, but laws tell you what you have to do. So I'm hoping that Trinidad and Tobago will have specific laws to protect persons with disability before the next general election in Trinidad and Tobago. The Trinidad and Tobago Blind Welfare Association is, because we are moving into a different direction and repurposing our building, we are working with our certification board because there's no specific organization in the Caribbean or in Trinidad and Tobago to certify persons to train persons who are blind in like O&M, orientation and mobility. So we are trying to get center approval. Once that is done, we will be running certified program to train persons how to accommodate personal adjustment of blindness. So both the service provider will be trained and also persons who are blind will come to the Blind Welfare Association, have training, properly certified, and we have something called CBQ, Caribbean-based qualification. So once you come to Trinidad and Tobago, you get your training and you are certified, you can go back into the Caribbean and teach. So we are at the Blind Welfare Association we are not only dealing with Trinidad and Tobago, but we are hoping that once we get our center approval, we could offer this service throughout the Caribbean, because there are smaller islands that sometimes they may only have 100,000 people living and they may not have the capacity. So we are hoping that once we get our center approval, because we are one of the larger islands in the Caribbean, we could bring people to our organization. We have domestic services like a boarding facility, so it will help to cut the cost than going to expensive hotels, so people in the Caribbean could come to the Blind Welfare Association, stay on, and we could give you that specific training so you could go back to the Caribbean. So what we need the assistance from your organization to help us, if you can network with you all to build that capacity, the areas that we don't have, help us do some training, maybe on Zoom, maybe you could fly into Trinidad and Tobago. It's an excellent way to come to the Caribbean, enjoy our sunshine, and probably our good Caribbean, if those who indulge in that sort of stuff, and enjoy Trinidad and Tobago, and also come and help in our organization in building our capacity. So within probably 5-10 years, we will be able to offer that service more and more throughout the Caribbean. The world is facing a big issue, global warming. And because of global warming, small states in the Caribbean could be wiped off the map. And we are having some challenges pertaining to disaster preparedness. Because in a disaster, persons who are affected the most is the vulnerable. And persons who are blind are no different. I remember when I was at college, they were training everybody that if there's a disaster in the building, how to leave the building and so on. And don't forget, we have 2 students who are blind. So one day there was the alarm went off because there was smoke in the building. Everybody left the building. And when they were outside, they were looking for the 2 blind guys. But we were already outside before them. So if we were dependent on these people to accompany out of the building in a disaster, we would have been in the building. We would have perished. So we have to train persons who are blind how to deal with disasters like flooding. Just recently we had Hurricane Beryl ravishing the Caribbean. Trinidad and Tobago, we are so fortunate because of our geographical location. We don't really get hurricane, but it is getting closer and closer. So we have earthquakes, we may have flooding, and we have to train persons who are blind in an event, in a disaster, how to leave your home safely, how to get to a center so that you could be taken care of, or, well, you could benefit from the different program while the disaster goes away. So we are in the process of also training our ODPM, or our disaster prepared unit, to ensure that they are ready to accommodate persons with disability, and in particular persons who are blind. So I would like to thank you all very much for this opportunity to be here and to address you and to bring to you the issues that face Trinidad and Tobago. And as I always believe, a rising tide lifts all boats. And when I got onto the internet, I learned about what you are doing and what's happening in Europe and so on. And that changed my thinking. So if it changed my thinking because of where you are, it's a good opportunity to reflect where you came from, where you are, and where you want to be. Because as Trinidad and Tobago, as a developing nation, we look forward to you because of sometimes size, population of scale, gives you a different opportunity to a small island like Trinidad and Tobago. So we look forward to you, sometimes for resources, sometimes for technical assistance, and the advancement you are making as a nation. So a lot of persons who are blind in Trinidad and Tobago, they look forward to me going back to Trinidad and Tobago and reporting what is happening. Reading about it, looking, it's not enough. Coming and touching it is the truth. Coming and being part of it is the truth. And I will take back all what I learned here, back to my organization, back to persons who are blind in Trinidad and Tobago, and tell them, let us live expectation for persons who are blind. They could live better lives. Thank you all very much. I don't know if you have any questions. I don't know if that is possible, or if not, okay, good. So thank you all very much. Yeah.
I know you all, as I do, have questions for Kenneth, and he will be at the international luncheon and also with MCAC. I think I got that right, later today. So if you have questions, please go by and ask. I'm sure he'd love to meet you and talk with you. He's a great guy and really exciting presentation. We all enjoyed it. This is another great time coming up that I always enjoy every year because you know, I've worked my career and I've had my career, but ACB, we've always wanted to encourage our students and people moving ahead in life with their different degrees. And then recently, AFB came on board and asked us to start presenting some of their scholarships, and that was really showing a great vote of confidence in the work that our great scholarship committee does and for ACB. But what we don't get, we just get a small view into what goes on in that committee. Those guys really get to meet and get down with these students and know them and get to know a lot about them. And I've done that several years ago with CCLBI, and I can tell you, it's a wonderful experience. So as we bring our scholarship chair, Denise Colley, up to present our scholarships, get ready for an exciting time to meet some wonderful young people.
Oops. I'm back. For me, this is probably one of the most exciting things that I get to do at convention. And you know, I say this every year, but man, I really mean it this year. We have some amazing students for you to meet. And I have to tell you, one of the things we added to our week-long events this year was kind of it was like a let's get together icebreaker, get to know each other. And one of the things that we asked them to do was we divided them into teams, and they had to come up, they had to take a fairy tale or a, what? Fantasy, thank you. See, they have to help me. Some kind of a fantasy story, and they had to make the center of it blindness, or about blindness, and they had to act it out as a skit. I got to tell you, we had 4 groups, and they were amazing. You wouldn't believe what they came up with in 20 minutes. It was the coolest thing I ever saw in my life. So we're probably going to do something like that again because it was major fun. All right, so this year, we awarded 21 scholarships to 21 amazing students. And the total awarded was approximately $116,200. And what I want to do is 18 of those students are here on stage with, 17 of those students are here on stage with me. 3 were not able to attend, and I will tell for different reasons, and I will tell you about them in a minute. And we have 1 who unfortunately got really sick and has been in her room for the last 2 days. And she was really, really, really hoping she could come down this morning. She did get tested for COVID and doesn't have COVID, but yes, we're very grateful about that. But what we're going to do, I'll tell you about all of them in a few minutes. I'm going to let our students tell you a little bit about themselves. I told them they had to keep this pretty brief because, you know, we want to get everything in. But they're going to tell you a little bit about themselves and what they're doing. So let's start down the row.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ravina Ali. I just started at Georgia Tech in Atlanta a few weeks ago, majoring in international affairs and modern languages, and as well as public policy. And I'm just so beyond grateful to ACB, to everyone in my family and community who have helped get me here, and grateful for this opportunity and inspired and proud of all of you guys.
Hello, my name is Matthew Ard. I'm originally from northern China, but I live in San Jose, California. I am starting my first year as a PhD student in energy at Stanford University, and I am I'm really honored and grateful to be here. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Brandon Butchberger. I'm from West Palm Beach, Florida, and I'm currently working on my master's degree in clinical mental health counseling at Palm Beach Atlantic University, and I'm really honored and grateful for this opportunity, and I thank you, American Council of the Blind, for this amazing opportunity.
Hello, I'm the other Matthew, the not as nearly as impressive Matthew, but I try my best. I am a second-year student going to Marymount Manhattan College in New York, and I am pursuing a degree in psychology, and I hope to be a clinical social worker. I thank ACB for this opportunity.
We've had this standing joke going on all week because we have two Matthews and we have two Emilys. So we've been having lots of fun with that. And they've been saying that all week too. The Matthews are better. I think they might be cuter too.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Izzy Guzman. I'm from Orlando, Florida. I just graduated from the University of Miami's Frost School of Music with a bachelor's degree in music education. And I am in the 5-year accelerated program and will be finishing my master's degree in jazz pedagogy this upcoming year at the University of Miami Frost School of Music. I would like to thank the ACB Scholarship Committee for this amazing opportunity, as this is my 3rd year winning an ACB scholarship, so I'm immensely grateful for their support. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Tyler Hoppy. I'm from Mount Savage, Maryland, and I'm a rising senior at Penn State University. I am studying political science and psychology with aspirations to attend law school. My end career goal is to become a United States Senator and help advocate in all of the country. I just wanted to take a minute to thank the ACB for this wonderful scholarship. And this is actually my first time participating with the ACB. And I just wanted to say you all have been wonderful. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Rashida Kenner. I am from Louisville, Kentucky. I am getting my master's in social work. I attend IU of Indianapolis. I'm hoping to become a licensed clinical psychotherapist and also to keep advocating for our community. And I want to thank everyone.
Good morning, ACB friends, family, and sponsors. My name is Brock Kitterman. I am a rising sophomore at the best school in Alabama, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise, the University of Alabama. Roll Tide Roll. I am studying computer science with a minor in mathematics, and am currently on track to get my MBA within the next few years. Like those before me, and hopefully those after me, I would like to thank everyone here from ACB, sponsors, AFB, and whoever else has helped contribute to our success from the bottom of mine and hopefully everyone else's hearts. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Thank you so much for your ongoing support.
I hate to tell you this, Brock, but I think there's somebody up there who's going to totally disagree with you about the best school in Alabama.
Hello, everyone. I'm Suzette May. I'm from Waco, Texas. I'm a non-traditional student at Arizona State University, meaning I'm 55 and it's better late than never. I'm an honors senior student majoring in disability studies. And I want to thank the ACB for a wonderful experience. This is my first time here. And it has been an amazing experience, and thank you to the ACB Scholarship Committee as well.
Hi,
Hi everyone, my name is Emily Nelson, one of the Emilys. I guess I'm not as cute as the Matthews, but I like to think I am.
No, but you're more beautiful.
Thank you. So I am a rising sophomore at Indiana University Bloomington, studying cybersecurity and global policy. And this fall, I will be at the University of Mannheim in Mannheim, Germany. This is my second year at ACB, and I'm on the board for ACB students. I just want to say how thankful I am for ACB. You know, last year coming here, I had no idea anything about ACB and just the blind world in general. Obviously, I had jumped headfirst into it, and I am very happy I am. Thank you so much for everyone who has supported us, and I hope that we all continue to foster our relationships together. Thank you.
And not only is she on the ACB Students Board, but I would like to introduce to you the newly elected president of ACB Students.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Frank Ritter, and I'm from Houston, Texas. Please keep Houston in your prayers. I'd like to thank the ACB for inviting me. This is my first time. I'd also like to say thank you, and I love you, my new brothers and sisters. On top of being a gigging musician, I play steel pan, which comes from Trinidad and Tobago. I'm a doctoral student, just finished my first year at University of Houston, Clear Lake, and I'm studying education leadership.
Hello, everyone. My name is Avery, and I'm attending, I'm a rising junior at UNC Chapel Hill in North Carolina. I'm a neuroscience major with minors in chemistry and biology, and I'm so excited to be here, so grateful to the scholarship committee, and so grateful to this wonderful community. You guys are so sweet. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Michael Sarabia, a Fulbright scholar, originally from Lima, Peru. And now it's also an honor for me to also be an ACB scholar. Currently, I am pursuing my master's degree in public administration at the University of Georgia. And thanks ACB family for this great opportunity. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mohammad Suhaib, basically from Pakistan, and I was at University of Oregon for the last 1 year as a Fulbright Foreign Language Fellow. This fall, I'm going to start my PhD in special education at University of North Texas, and what I'm focusing on is like language pedagogy for students with visual impairment. And I'm really delighted to be here. Thank you. I'm really delighted to be here with all of you. But I'm feeling bittersweet. I am leaving Oregon, the cool place, and moving to a hot Texas. Yeah, thank you so much, ACB, for this wonderful opportunity to meet wonderful people here. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Charlie Strawn. I'm originally adopted from Henan, China, and I live in Alabama. And I would like to say I'm going to the best school, Auburn University, so War Eagle. And I am receiving a double major in business information systems and management and psychology, and hopefully to bring diversity into the world of business for promoting disabilities.
Good morning, everyone. I am Damaris Stepter from Thibodaux, Louisiana. I will be attending Nicholls State University in my hometown of Thibodaux, Louisiana, with hopes, majoring in finance, with hopes to become a financial advisor and help others with their financial crisis and investments. I would like to thank ACB for giving me this opportunity, meeting new people, gaining experiences. This is my first time, but I hope for many more to come. And I would like to give all glory to the man above and also to my mother in the crowd. So thank you.
Oh, we're missing two. I forgot about the other one that we're missing. Okay, so Patty Cox, if you're not up here, if you can make it. All right, let me tell you about, actually the four, well, yeah, okay. So our student who was not able, is unfortunately in her room ill, is Emily Schlenker. Emily's from Wichita, Kansas, and she is a graduate student pursuing her doctorate degree in pharmacology, in pharmacy work. And she, in the fall, will be attending the University of Kansas in Wichita. Ari Farnham also was not able to be with us. She had another obligation related to her degree. Ari is from La Grande, Oregon. She is a graduate student, and she is pursuing a master's degree in creative writing with a minor specialization in community and landscape. And she'll be attending Eastern Oregon University in La Grande. And I got to tell you, the information that I sent out to all of you on the two lists about these students, if you didn't read Ari's little biography I wrote up, you need to go back and read it. This woman is amazing. She was a reporter in the Sudan and saw a whole lot of stuff. Ronak Patel is from Baltimore, Maryland, and he is a graduate student pursuing a master's degree in business administration. And he will be attending the Wharton School, University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. And you're going to hear more about Ronak in a few minutes. And then, and I didn't take his information down. That was not very smart. Our other student is Devin Woodfine. Devin has been working all week while he's been here, and unfortunately had to work this morning. And I didn't write down his info, so I'm totally sorry because I forgot about him. But these are our students for this year. Please give them a huge hand. Actually, I did forget one. This last student is somebody that has been around for a while, and if I know him like I do, probably everybody around here met him because he was like all over the place because he's gotten a scholarship for several years. Our final student who was not able to be with us this year was Bhavya Shah. Bhavya is from Stanford, California. He's a graduate student pursuing a master's degree in computer science, and he's really interested in artificial intelligence or human-computer track, whatever the heck that is. And Bhavya is attending Stanford University. So, you know, he has some amazing, amazing students. And now, Patty Cox, our president of CCLVI, is going to tell you about their amazing students.
Good morning. So the Fred Scheigert Scholarship Award, we award 4 scholarships, 1 for a graduate student, 1 for undergraduate, and 2 freshman scholarships. And we should be adding more scholarships soon. As Denise said, Ronak was our graduate student, and he will be receiving this year $3,000. Each student receives $3,000, $1,500 each semester. We also have a graduate, one undergraduate student, and that is Chantel Susie. And she is not here today because she's interning in the White House. So we let her slide. Chantel will be majoring in political science at Wellesley College. She immigrated to the U.S. 5 years ago, fleeing the ongoing violence that took her parents' lives in the North, and I'm going to say this wrong, Kivu Democratic Republic of Congo. And is Alina and Nicholas in the room?
I'm here.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to have Alina tell you a little bit about herself. She is one of the 2 freshman winners. And I think she's going to have friends at school.
Hello, my name's Alina Hamlin. I am from South Carolina, and I am an upcoming freshman in the best school in Alabama, Tuscaloosa, where I will be pursuing my bachelor's in computer science. And I am just so grateful to be here, and this is my first time, and I have met some lovely people.
She also graduated from the South Carolina School for the Blind with a 4.4 grade point average and was valedictorian. And Nicholas Garrell. Is he in here? He's not in here. I don't know. Can you hold that? We don't need to. Oh.
She's done. All right.
No, I'm not done.
Oh, she's not. She just wants me to hold her mic.
I'm just trying to turn the page.
She wants me to turn.
So Nicholas Garrell lives in Freehold, New Jersey. He graduated on the honor roll in his class this May. He has also been a 4-year student in the culinary arts program at his high school. He also was a wrestler, and he enjoys fishing. And in the fall, he will be attending Monmouth University. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. This year, we were able to add a new scholarship to our list of scholarships. The Drishti Foundation provided us with a $2,000 scholarship. And one of the things for those of you who are new to ACB is we have been really fortunate with the several scholarships that we are awarding from the American Foundation for the Blind, the Tech for All, our Tech for All scholarship. We have a couple of state-sponsored scholarships, and we've been able to take those and add those to our already existing scholarships to increase our amounts. And so the majority of our scholarships this year were running right around $5,000, $6,000. So that. And our 3 Ross and Pangier scholarships are now up to $8,125. So we really thank all of those who provide us funding to give to these well-deserving students. I just want to remind everyone that the scholarship reception will be taking place this afternoon at 5:30. There is a room change. The scholarship reception will now be in, in the room I was in all day yesterday. Clearwater, thank you, Clearwater, in Clearwater at 5:30. Please be there. Not only will we be hearing from some of our own dignitaries, but we will be providing some introduction to 3 more of our special interest affiliates for our students. So come, so you can meet them more informally, so that you can talk to them and you can get to know them. And thank you. And I would also like to, at this point, take the opportunity to thank my committee. I'm not going to go through and name them all. I would like to thank Patty Slobby, my co-chair, and my 4 wonderful subcommittees who work really hard every year to go through, read all the applications, score them, interview students, make selections. It's amazing the amount of work that goes into this, and they are an amazing group of people, and I want to thank all of them. So on behalf of the Scholarship Committee, this is our 2024-2025 presentation of our ACB scholarships.
You know, I'd like to thank CCLBI for helping in the overtime. Again, as usual, Alabama has beat Auburn. So thank you. You've made my day. Okay, we're not going to take a break because we are running a little behind. So if you feel like you have to, you can, but we'd rather you didn't, unless you need to go somewhere, you know. Okay, we're ready to hear from the National Library Service. We have Jason Yasner, Deputy Director, with us from Washington, D.C. today. And he's going to bring us up to date on what's going on in one of our favorite services for probably one of our longest services that benefit blind people. Jason? Should have gave you a big heads up.
Hey, how are you? Hey, everybody, how you doing? Wow, I cannot tell you how happy I am to be here. My name is Jason Yasner. I'm the Deputy Director of NLS, the National Library Service for the Blind and Print Disabled. And so the question, thank you. For the question, the first question I always ask is, with a show of hands, raise your hand if you're an NLS patron right now. All right, I'll see you later. Thank you. That was fantastic. This is what I like to see. Sea of hands, sea of hands. If you're not an NLS patron, we want you to be an NLS patron. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the program. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's coming up. We've got some really, really exciting things that we've been working on and planning. But first, I want to thank the entire ACB crew here to my left and right. Thank you always for inviting me to your conference, your convention, giving me a chance to speak, but most importantly, giving me a chance to interact with all of you. You know, it's easy for me to sit in my air-conditioned office in Washington, D.C. and think I know what's going on out there, but that would be terribly arrogant of me. I need to go out. I need to talk to the patrons. I need to get feedback directly from the people. Otherwise, I don't know what you need. I don't know how I can better support you. I don't know how I can make our products and services better. So I love coming to these conventions. I love visiting our network libraries in all the states. Sadly, COVID put a little damper on my travel, but I'll be getting out there again. So maybe I'll be coming to your state in the next year or 2 years. So let me tell you about NLS. So NLS was created in 1931 by an act of Congress, and it's part of the Library of Congress. The Library of Congress in the 1890s set up a reading room for the blind. And it was hard copy Braille, of course, but a patron had to come to Washington, D.C., come into the Jefferson Building and actually use the materials in person. You know, that's not really a national library. Most people were not able to do that. In 1931, Congress decided to create NLS mainly to support blinded veterans from World War I. And they thought that if we could use the US Postal Service, who already had a free Matter for the Blind service, we would be able to have a national library service. So in 1931, NLS started sending out hard copy Braille to Americans that qualified and were certified for the program. In 34, they expanded it to audio. And I don't know if you know this is a great tidbit. The LP record, the vinyl record, was the first talking book. Before that, commercial music was on a 78 RPM 10-inch record. The 12-inch LP was created to be an audio talking book. 33 1/3 RPM was created for you so that you could listen, and it was exclusive to the turntables that we would send out as our talking book machine. Can you imagine getting a turntable in the mail and then getting records? I mean, imagine reading the King James Bible, and you play side A, you flip it over, side B, and you've got 20 records there. Anyway, it worked though, and that was what was important, it worked. Over the years, of course, we've leveraged technology. We went to cassettes eventually, and then we moved into our cartridges, which you're probably all very, very familiar with, where you get books and digital audio file on cartridges. And then we created the digital talking book machine, which I'm sure all of you have. It's a very, very sturdy, wonderful, easy to use machine. It's about 12 years old now, and I swear you can drop it from the Empire State Building and it'll still play your book. But I don't advise you to do that. But we made it built to last, like a Tonka truck when I was growing up. Built to last. And then we entered the 21st century, and we came up with Bard. And Bard changed everyone's life. Braille and audio reading download. Website, mobile app. We have the mobile app in 3 different flavors: iOS, Android, Fire OS. We've got Bard Express as a Windows PC application, obviously the Bard website. And since then, people are just giving us fantastic feedback. And I knew, it was before my time, but I knew that was a great decision. And so when I came on to NLS in the summer of 2018, we were just on the verge of asking Congress for a big chunk of money to modernize NLS services. And I had to sit down and I had to learn all about NLS. I had been in the Library of Congress for a long, long time, 24 years as a matter of fact, in the IT department. And all of a sudden I got the deputy director job at NLS, but I didn't know that much about the program. I had to sit down and write out a proposal to ask Congress for millions and millions and millions of dollars because I had to speak for you, because I knew that we would never be able to get more patrons. We would never be able to do patron growth and patron retention if we didn't modernize our services. So we got money from Congress to modernize Bard. We did, the past 3 years, we have been working on the back end. So Bard used to be one big monolithic system. It was like a dinosaur. You couldn't pull it any faster. You couldn't push it any faster. You just had to ride along with it. We broke Bard down into microservices, and so now it's much more scalable. We can scale up to hundreds and hundreds of thousands of simultaneous users. So on top of that, on the back end, we worked on our book production. Internal applications, so we could produce more books more quickly. So many years ago, we were only doing 5,000 books a year, maybe 6,000. We're on for 13,000 books, new books on Bard this year. And we plan on maintaining that schedule and increasing as we can, because we know how important it is. We know that there are a lot of other services out there. There's Audible, there's Libby and Bookshare, and we welcome you to use those services. These are not competitors with NLS and Bard. We want you to read. That's the goal. That's the most important thing, that you read when you want, how you want, and where you want. And so NLS should be, a complimentary service for that. But we know that Bookshare has a lot more books than we do. But we try to concentrate on books that the commercial publishers may not make for you, especially like how-to books, how to bake a souffle. We have a lot of cookbooks. We have a lot of how to knit and crochet. We also look at bestsellers like Game of Thrones. And for a sighted reader, it's very, very important to understand the map in Game of Thrones. You need to understand the world, and it really, really adds to your reading experience. Well, we make tactile graphics and tactile maps. And we're working more and more towards that so that your reading experience is on parity with a sighted person. And that includes, we want to get you the newest books as soon as possible, and we want to make sure that your reading experience is as excellent as possible. All right, that was my big speech. We already talked about NLS Service. So NLS Service works because of a cooperating network of libraries out there. You're probably all familiar with this. So in 1931, this was a handshake between federal government and state governments around the country, something that would never happen today in this political environment. So for 93 years, we have had this cooperative agreement with our network libraries. And so in most cases, you as the patron are interacting with your cooperating network library in the state or county where you live. And so we provide products and services for them, and then they in turn provide it for you. They provide reader advisory services and any kind of support you would need from a librarian. So this is a wonderful agreement, and we are always working with our network libraries and fortifying that relationship with them. And we have similar meetings with them like this, where we ask them their feedback. What do you need from us? How can we support you to make it easier for you to support the patrons? And so you probably all know how to sign up, et cetera, et cetera. But if you don't know how to sign up, please reach out to someone, especially someone here. Most likely the person to your left or right is already an NLS patron. It can help you sign up, reaching out to your network library and filling out the form and registering, and then automatically you are an NLS patron. Download Bard, or however you read, get a digital talking book machine and start reading immediately. Once again, we're really, really excited that all of you are readers. That's the most important thing, once again. People need to read, especially these days where information is so crucial and good, true information is so crucial. So NLS hopefully contributes to that. So let me talk about, it's not just books, by the way. You know, we have tons of magazines out there. We just transferred, we had a magazine on cartridge service. We just transferred that, so the network libraries are now able to give magazines on cartridge to you directly. Of course, we have a dedicated music section. So we're not allowed to hand out performative music. You know, that's something that you would go to Apple iTunes and stuff. But if you want to learn how to play the guitar, or if you want to read about music theory or anything like that, you need Braille music scores because you play the trumpet. We have a music section that's available to you directly. We have reference librarians on staff as well. So of course, if your reference librarian or your reader advisor at your network library can't answer a question, NLS is always there for you as well. We work with the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. And so I don't know if many of you have been to the exhibit hall, but there's an NLS exhibit booth with two of my colleagues there that are able to answer any of your questions, fix some of your problems. Someone just called out. Okay, thank you. So I've got two colleagues there at the exhibit booth. I'll be there as well. And next to the booth is the Bureau of Engraving and Printing that hands out the currency reader. So this is the little iBill device that audibly tells you what U.S. paper currency is available. So we have an agreement with the U.S. Treasury, Bureau of Engraving and Printing, to distribute these iBill currency readers. So please go down to the booth, talk to my NLS folks. Next door are the BEP folks, the Treasury folks. You can get your free iBill currency reader. All right, I mentioned the network and how important it is to have a relationship with your network library. I talked about Bard, and so this is what's coming up with Bard. We are working on a smart speaker application. So some of you, of course, are using Amazon Echoes. We are working on an Amazon Alexa skill so that you will be able to, oh yeah, let's hear this was a big one. We were really excited about this. And so we're actually going to do an open beta starting in September. We have 5,000 seats from Amazon where we're able to offer that to anybody who is a Bard user, an NLS patron, and has an existing Amazon smart speaker. And you'll have access to our Alexa skill, and you'll be able to be a beta tester, and you'll be able to give us feedback on how well it's working. So you can imagine. All right, that's a very, very good question. So I'm going to read out an email address, and hopefully it'll be available in other ways. But the email address for anything, if you're interested in participating in any tests with NLS, or you have any questions about technology, it's NLS PES. PES is our patron engagement section. So that's one word, NLS PES at loc.gov. loc.gov. NLS PES at loc.gov. So, Smart Speaker app is coming up in September. Probably we'll launch that into production in 2025. We're also doing a big BARD Express update. For those of you who use BARD Express on a Windows PC, you'll be able to listen to your books in BARD Express once you download to your PC. We have a big summer reading program going on right now. Not sure whether many of you participate in summer reading, but our network libraries have been doing summer reading for a long time. We kicked off our inaugural summer reading program last year, and now it's kicking in full speed for our second year. And all of this information I'm saying can be found at our new NLS website. We completely revamped our website to make it a better UI and UX for everyone, make it as accessible as possible. Our website address is loc.gov, which is the Library of Congress, loc.gov/NLS. And once you get to the website, you can find out all the information that I've told you about today, including summer reading. We also have a Spanish version of the website for those of you who read Spanish. And as I mentioned, the patron engagement section runs a lot of programs. We have programs called the Many Faces of BARD. We have a quarterly patron corner where we take on different topics. You can suggest topics. Anything that you have to tell NLS, send us an email to nlspes@loc.gov. We have a listserv that you can sign up on, and you'll get email announcements as well. Let's see. The DA2. So those of you who have visited the exhibit booth probably got a chance to check out the DA2. This is our digital talking book machine version 2. So the digital talking book machine is about 11, 12 years old. As I said, it's a workhorse, but it's limited. And we wanted to provide a new device that let the patrons, you, have more flexibility. So the new device is called the DA2. It is built in partnership with Humanware. We have a prototype of it upstairs in the exhibit hall. And besides being able to play cartridges just like the DTBM, the digital talking book machine, it has a Wi-Fi modem in it. So you can also connect to BARD and download all of your books to the device via BARD. So you can play using cartridges, you can play around with BARD and download whatever you want. It also has Bluetooth connectivity, so you can connect to an external device. So we're really excited about the DA2 that will also be rolling out in 2025. And then Braille on Demand. Many of you probably have participated in Braille on Demand. So after we got the money from Congress to modernize BARD in some of our systems, we decided our next big mountain to climb was a Braille renaissance. We know Braille is literacy, and we know Braille is so important to our patrons. So we decided, with rolling out the Braille e-readers, the refreshable Braille devices that I assume most of you have by now, we've been rolling these things out for a couple years. Thank you. Absolutely. I'm so proud of that. Our team is so proud, and we're so glad that we're able to offer the Braille e-readers. We knew that digital Braille, of course, was going to explode. Digital Braille downloads was going to explode, and it has. So we're trying to get as many titles in digital Braille up on BARD as possible. But hard copy Braille is still preferred by some people. It was very inefficient and expensive for us to produce every single title in hard copy Braille. So what we did was we set up a Braille on Demand program. And so now an NLS patron can request 5 titles every month on hard copy Braille through the program. They're yours for long-term loan. This is federal government. I'm not allowed to say you can keep them, but you can have them on long-term loan for 300 years if you want. I'm not breaking the law by saying that. But the point is, you can build up your own hard copy Braille library, Braille on demand. And so what that means is we don't have to print, hundreds of thousands of titles in Braille that just sit on a shelf that no one is requesting and reading. It's a waste of resources and it's a waste of space. So we're really, really excited about Braille on demand. And we're going to continue that with more Braille offerings, more tactile graphics, et cetera, et cetera. So in closing, I just wanted to say, again, please visit our NLS exhibit booth. It's upstairs in the exhibit hall. All the way down to the left in the back is the NLS booth, along with the Bureau of Engraving and Printing booth. At 2:30 today, there is a Q&A session with me, NLS Deputy Director Jason Yasner. I will be in the hot seat, and I want you to come there and tell me the good, the bad, the ugly. I want your compliments, your complaints, your insults. I want to hear it all. Okay? It's not a murder board, but I am in the hot seat, and this is exactly why I come to these things. So please come, 2:30 today in City Terrace 9 upstairs. 2:30 today, City Terrace 9. I will be there. I'm wearing a seersucker suit right now, and I wore it for all of you. I can describe it later, but I will be wearing, and I will be sweating while you give me all the tough questions, but I promise I will do my best to answer them. And then the very, very last thing is we have a great position that's posted right now. If you're interested in working for NLS, sadly, it's not 100% remote. You do have to live in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, but we have a GS13 Braille program specialist. If some of you know who Tamara Rory is, she's kind of a celebrity in the community. She is our head of the patron engagement section. This was her previous position that we're backfilling now. So this is someone that's really going to provide strategic program guidance for our Braille programs moving forward. So this is a federal job. It's available on usajobs.gov. You can search for Library of Congress. You can search for Braille Program Specialist. I believe it's open through the end of the month, maybe July 26th. But I encourage you, if you're interested in working for NLS, please get in touch. I really, really want to thank all of you for your time listening to me. I want to thank ACB once again for inviting me. And all of you, stay cool and have a great convention. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jason. If Jason doesn't answer the questions like you want him to, we can always develop a Jason audio dartboard and get it going, Jason's done a great job for us, and it's always a pleasure to have him with us. Okay, with our talking book speaker begin to make their way forward. This is another exciting time that I know that I've actually had 2 or 3 people tell me this is why they come to convention. They want to hear the talking book speaker every year. So, for a lot of us, as we've spread out and gone to Audible and some of the other things, we tend to get familiar with new speakers. But over the years, if you grew up the way some of us did, I started reading. I got my first talking book when I just went to school when I was 6 years old. And it was amazing to me to hear Grimm's fairy tales for the first time. So, it opened the world of reading, and I've never stopped since. So today we're going to have somebody that actually I'm not familiar with, so I'm excited to hear from her. Books to Life. In Denver, Colorado, we have Mayor, and I'm going to butcher this last name, Trevathan. Okay. All right. So, and she is from Books to Life in Denver, Colorado. Claire?
Good morning, everyone. I had thought that I would start with a physical description of myself, but several months ago, a listener who is now a friend told me that she was very pleased with her own idea of what I look like, and that she would rather I not ruin that. So I will just say that I'm a woman of ambiguous height, weight, age, hair color, and attractiveness. Also, my toenails are blue. That's not a natural condition. That was a special pedicure because I was just so dang honored and excited to be here with you. I live in Longmont, Colorado, a town of about 100,000 people. Woo! Snug along the foothills just east of the Rocky Mountains. This is the town where former NLS narrator Bob Askey was once the mayor. That was before my time in Colorado, and I've yet to meet Bob. I did try to find him online. It looks to me like he's still around 95 years old. His LinkedIn page says, wealthy, comma, retired. But I do have many narrator friends, many of whom have had the honor of speaking here at this conference. And so when I was invited to speak, I reached out to them for advice and for favorite anecdotes to share with you all. Several folks were very helpful. Several folks felt that they had nothing to share. However, everybody was eager to send their hellos to you. So get ready for some serious narrator name dropping, y'all. Earnestly, every single name that I'm about to say is somebody who said, oh my gosh, say hi from me. I love them, I love them. I was explicitly asked to tell you hi from Gabriela Cavallero, Martha Harmon Pardee, Eric Samvo, Kristen Allison, Jill Ferris. It's a long list, so I'm gonna speed through and we'll yay many times at the end. Adrian Rivers, Jake Williams, Doug Tisdale Jr., Bill Wallace, Lindsay Pierce, Laura Hatch, Guy Williams, Jim Zeiger, and David Hartley Margolin. Now we can woo. Woo! Okay, if you'd like to send a hello back to them, I have my phone here so I can take a photo of us all. Are you ready to smile and wave? Okay, let's see. We're a really big group. I might have to do a few. Okay, on the count of 3, I'm going to do it a couple of times. 1, 2, 3, cheese! Okay, once more for the other side of the room here. 1, 2, 3, cheese! Okay, I look really goofy, but you all look great, so we're going to go ahead and use it anyway. I hope that my shameless name dropping will give me some legitimacy by association and that you won't hold it against me that I lack a fancy pedigree. In fact, I was a kindergarten dropout. I left kindergarten about a month in because I was intimidated by the fact that it seemed to me that everyone in my class already knew how to read except for me. I was the youngest kid in my class, so my mom told me I could drop out of kindergarten as long as I got a job. She was not going to have an unemployed 4-year-old freeloading under her roof. So I got a job delivering papers around the neighborhood on my bike. True. And of course, I did learn to read. In 4th grade, I remember being pulled into the hall by my teacher who excitedly told me, or at least I thought told me, that I had, quote, broken the curb on the state reading assessment. I did not know what this meant, but I knew I hadn't done it. And I suspected my nemesis, Stephen, had fake tattled on me. By the time we straightened out that it was a curve that I'd broken and that I wasn't in trouble for it, I think my teacher was pretty mystified by the disparity between my reading level and my smarts. I also dropped out of high school. I supported myself as a motel maid, a barista, a temp, a singing telegram deliverer, a balloon animal artiste, the stunt double for film actor Joan Severance, an aide in special ed classrooms, an aide in adult daycare for people with dementia, a theater teacher, a theater box office worker, a theater marketing director, a character actor at FAO Schwartz Toy Store, a character actor in Mystery Dinner Theater, an actor in many plays, an accounting assistant for Warner Brothers, and a cleaner of biohazardous liquids at crime scenes. I lasted on that last job just a few weeks. My resume is a mess. I look terrible on paper. The one special talent I have in life is that I'm great at the cold read, that is, reading something aloud without having pre-read it. It is not a very useful talent, unless you are an audiobook narrator. Thank goodness fate landed me in Colorado doing theater in the mid-aughts with the very kind narrators Martha Harmon Pardee and Jim Zeiger and Gabriella Cavallero. When an opening for a new narrator came about at Denver's Talking Book Studio, Gabriella and Martha and Jim all recommended me. Yeah, they are that. I don't know, of course, what my alternate path might have looked like, but I do love being a narrator. It has yielded many blessings. I love inhabiting every character in a book without having to memorize lines or spend a moment thinking about costumes, hair, or makeup. Being an audiobook narrator has also led me to becoming a teacher of voice acting for the last 8 years at the Tony-winning Denver Center for the Performing Arts, which in turn led me to being a voice and text coach at the Colorado Shakespeare Festival. The scheduling flexibility of work as a narrator has allowed me to move my 92-year-old mother in with me so I can be her caregiver. Audiobook narration also made it possible for me recently to donate a kidney, a decision which is made so much easier when you don't have to take a month off of work to recover because all you have to do is commute to your own basement, sit down, and read aloud. A few words about that. I live more than 40 miles from either of the two Colorado studios that record for the NLS. So in March of 2020, when every audiobook narrator on earth was asked if they could record from home, I was ecstatic to oblige. Now, in creating an audiobook studio, the biggest challenge is keeping the outside sound outside and the inside sound from echoing. So to meet this challenge quickly and on a budget, I dedicated a closet in the basement to the project, and I grabbed comforters that had come out of the dryer lumpy, old out-of-style throw pillows, stained tablecloths, old curtains, raggedy towels, an old bathroom rug, a mattress, and many egg cartons, and stapled everything to the walls and ceiling of the closet. I then added an outer layer of wild printed fabrics, and I called it good. Well, earlier this year, after nearly 4 years of recording in my boho pillow fort, I started obsessing over how many spiders and other creepy crawlies were living in the folds of the fabric. Given how frequently eight-legged visitors found their way across my computer keyboard while I was recording, I thought the time had come to finally invest in real acoustic treatment. Well, now my booth is all white and clean and pristine, but hundreds and hundreds of dollars later, it still doesn't sound as good as that old pillow fort. I do not miss spending 3 hours commuting to the Denver area studios, but I certainly do miss being with the wonderful people in those audiobook studios. Not only the aforementioned narrator friends, but the many other folks who it takes to make an audiobook. A studio manager who makes sure we meet the deadlines for scores of books every month, while also somehow giving narrators the flexibility they need to take other acting jobs. Brilliant researchers who scan books for words that may be challenging to pronounce, determining things like what regional accent is being used for the Spanish or Mandarin or Arabic. Monitors who diligently read silently along with the narrator to ensure accuracy, while also operating the sound recording software. Auditors who proof the recording, again listening for errors and helping to ready the recording for the NLS. Post-production sound engineers who master the audio files and do the taxing job of making everything compatible with Bard's navigation system. It takes a big team. When I record at home, I mostly still have that support, though I am my own sound engineer. But when I record commercial books, I don't have that team, and I miss it. In April, I recorded a beautiful debut novel called What the Living Do by Canadian author Susan Watts. Wads is a white woman married to an Ojibwe man, and her book includes many Ojibwe phrases and quite an extensive prayer, all in Ojibwe. I lucked out doing my own research that the University of Minnesota's Department of Indian Studies hosts a free web-based Ojibwe dictionary with many recorded pronunciations. It's quite a slow process, going word by word, searching elsewhere for words that didn't make it into the dictionary, and then determining how all those words should flow in the context of a paragraph. Well, guess what? It turns out that the Minnesota Ojibwe dictionary differed a lot from the pronunciations used by the Ojibwe community in Ontario, where this book was set. Luckily, I learned this about halfway through recording the book and was able to correct my mistakes. It was a good learning experience, but so very time-consuming, and not something that would have occurred if I'd had the benefit of a smarty-pants researcher working on the case. I asked one of those smarty-pants researchers, Jane Maxwell, for a story from her 35 years of prepping pronouncers for audiobooks. Jane relayed a conversation she had with a Navajo speaker from Shiprock about a certain white mystery writer who incorporates Navajo into their books. And this Navajo speaker said she enjoys these books, but the Navajo is poor. This Navajo woman felt sure the author had worked hard to verify the Navajo words and phrases, but thought that likely the author had spoken to an elderly Navajo speaker who cheerfully and intentionally misled them. Jane says this is often an issue with indigenous languages because speakers don't necessarily want to share their language with a random white person, understandably a bit worried of how their people may be presented in popular literature. Jane is currently researching Chinook speech in the 1700s in order to create a pronouncer. At the Chinook Tribal Center, they were at first open to helping her, but when they saw how the Chinooks were represented in the book and how their language had been so pathetically presented, they categorically refused to help. Jane says, I'll quote her, "I totally get this and completely respect the right to protect their story and language. I also feel like I'm disrespecting the people and language if we do a horrible job pronouncing it." Jane's quandary, attempting to do right by a book that doesn't itself get it right, is a hazard of our jobs. We record what we're asked to record. We don't censor the material. I have asked my monitor to pause recording and turn down their headphones so that I can shout my fury at the author before resuming with what I hope is a committed reading of a book I hate. I mentioned earlier being a good cold read, which is necessary when recording for the NLS because we do not get the book in advance. I actually love that because I get to discover the story as I read it, just as the listener does. But sometimes it doesn't go so well. Like when an important and verbose character is finally revealed on page 228 to have a Scottish brogue. Or, as happened to narrator Jim Zeiger, when the final sentence on the final page of a book revealed that the protagonist was actually female, not male, and the book should not have been narrated by him at all. David Hartley Margolin used to strategically pre-read the last chapter of a book until he narrated the book The Day After Tomorrow by Alan Folsom. In that book, the payoff, that's the big final twist, is the last sentence in the book. He says it ruined the book for him, so he's never pre-read the end again. Martha Harmon Pardee told me a story from 28 years ago when she was married to narrator Eric Sandvold, and they were pregnant with their first child. I am going to tell you Martha's anecdote in her own words. Quote, "I'll never forget going into labor with my child Adelaide while recording a book about the O.J. Simpson trial. It was the night shift, and it was snowing like crazy outside. I had gone back to work after taking time off because I couldn't stand just hanging out at home waiting for Adelaide to make her appearance. Well, Eric was also working at the studio that night, and when I went to tell him that I thought labor had started, he said he'd be right there. He just wanted to finish the chapter he was working on. So I went to curl up on a couch in the front office and waited. When he finally told me he was ready to go, I waddled out to the car in the driving snow, only to find that he had offered his monitor, who was sitting in our car's back seat, a ride home. It wasn't that I didn't want to help someone out in need, it's just that I thought that getting to the hospital was probably the priority at the time. It did all work out fine, and though Eric and Martha are no longer married, I work alongside both of them and Gabriella Cavallero often, as we all four now teach voice acting at the Denver Center for Performing Arts. Gabriella and I share a dubious talent. We can both sleep read. Gabriella was once narrating a romance novel with many different characters and many different accents when she suddenly came to and said to her monitor, "Wait, those two got married?" The shocked monitor said, "Yeah, like 8 pages ago." Somehow Gabriella had managed to keep all those characters and accents straight while not letting any of the story into her brain. She did go back and re-record those 8 pages, knowing that listeners might hear her detachment. I do sympathize with this, and it's not at all unusual for the monitor I'm working with to have to remind me of the plot line of a story I'm narrating. And none of us remember the titles of the books we're reading. I'm sure I sound like a big phony when I tell someone I'm an audiobook narrator, and they reasonably ask, "What are you reading now?" To which I reply, I can't remember the title. It's about a man who is a fireman, maybe? Or a cop? Knowing one of you might be listening is what has kept me going many a time. I hear from listeners all the time who love a book that I've completely forgotten. I love that. I love that we're all different, and I love knowing that someone is going to connect with a book that I'm reading. And of course, sometimes I get to narrate something I absolutely love, and the time just flies by. I would love to close by reading one of my favorite pieces for you. Is anyone here a fan of Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? I narrated this article for the winter 2020 issue of Choice magazine Listening. It was 46 minutes long, so I'm not going to do that. I will just read an abridged version that's about 13 minutes today. I'm going to do a quick time check, make sure I don't have to do any on the fly. Okay, we're all right. Okay, this was originally published in the New York Times in November of 2019, but it was updated in March of 23. The Mr. Rogers No One Saw by Jean Marie Lascaux. Up at the castle, in front of the cameras, the puppets were eagerly preparing for a festival. Dwarfed beneath high rows of stage lights in front of painted trees, they bopped happily along the pretend stone wall. But there was a buzzkill. King Friday the 13th, the mighty ruler in his bright purple cape, decreed that the festival would be a bass violin festival. "But you're the only one who plays the bass violin," one of the neighbors pointed out. "Oh, so I am," the king replied. "Well, it looks like I'll have a very large audience." Fred Rogers was on his knees behind the castle, dressed all in black, working the puppets, his posture straight as a soldier's, lips pursed tight as he voiced the king. There were cushions strewn on the floor and blocks of foam rubber taped to the parts of the castle where he tended to bonk his head. In one swift movement, he crouched, slipped off the king, slid on another puppet, he shot his arm up, returned to his knees, but this time he slouched, his face softening as he voiced the meek and bashful Daniel Striped Tiger. And so the neighbors scrambled about, trying to figure out a way to be part of the festival. Stumped and on the sly, they began to invent bass violin acts they might contribute. One dressed up her accordion to look like a bass violin. Another practiced a dance with one. Another tried to turn herself into one by wearing a big, fat bass violin suit. Another, a goat, recited a bass violin poem in goat language. Meh! Was this okay? Would the king approve? He did. In fact, he was delighted. It turned into a most rockin' bass violin festival. Neighbors singing and twirling with pretend and real bass violins, including a puppet holding a bass violin puppet, around balloons with little cardboard handles taped to them to look like bass violins, to rousing bass violin / accordion polka tunes, accompanying bass violin-inspired goat poems. If you didn't know what was going on, one of the guys on the crew said, this could be a very weird situation. I appreciated that. I worked for a different department in the building at WQED in Pittsburgh down the hall. They had microwave popcorn in the cafeteria. To get to the popcorn, you had to walk by Fred's Studio A. It was fun to go in and watch, if only to take in the live music, usually jazz, and to marvel at the bizarro factor, like Fellini for preschoolers. I wanted to ask Fred how he came up with the idea for goat poems. Whose day allows him to sit around thinking about accordions dressing up like bass violins? The first time I talked to him in his office, one floor up from Studio A, I tried to get him to explain. He kept turning the focus on me. He asked me about grad school. I hardly wanted to think about that, about the dark cloud hovering over my feelings about my time there. I asked him what he was working on, any new scripts or songs. He put his eyebrows up. It's so hard, isn't it? He said. I think there are many people who bring a whole lot of baggage from their past and a whole lot of anxiety about the future to the present moment. What's so great is that people can be in relationship with each other for the now. Yeah, I said. If we could somehow rid ourselves of illusions, he said. The illusion that we are greater or lesser than we are. The illusion that we're going to save the world. There are a lot of illusions that people walk around with. I would love to be able to be present in every moment I have. I distinctly remember having little more to offer than, yeah. When we were saying goodbye, I thanked him for all he had taught me. I think that it is very important to learn that you get that largely because of who you are, he said. I could be saying the same words and giving the same thoughts to somebody else who could be thinking something very different. The focus was always on you, or children, or the tiny things. L'essentiel est invisible pour les yeux. That was Fred's favorite quote. He had it framed and hanging on a wall in his office. What is essential is invisible to the eyes, from The Little Prince. It's not the honors and the prizes and the fancy outsides of life which ultimately nourish our souls, Fred once said, expounding on the idea in a speech. It's the knowing that we can be trusted, that we never have to fear the truth, that the bedrock of our very being is good stuff. What is essential about you that is invisible to the eyes? It was cold in Studio A. I learned to bring a sweater. Usually I sat by the piano with Johnny Costa, a well-known jazz musician at the time, admired by greats like Duke Ellington and Cannonball Adderley. He signed on to Fred's program back in its earliest days. Costa was so cool, wisecracking. He seemed way more Bugs Bunny than Mr. Rogers. I marveled at the way he and Fred communicated through the piano. Costa following Fred's movements during taping, matching his expressions with a riff or a sequence of chords, shoulders up, right hand in the air on the high notes. He was so into it. Thank God I'm a genius, he would say after a take. He liked to talk about his unlikely friendship with Fred. Me, I enjoy a good steak, he told me. Now Fred, he would never think of eating a steak. And I'll enjoy a glass of wine. Fred doesn't drink. Fred He would never swear. Me, I would swear. You follow me? He said he and Fred liked to talk about heaven, about meeting Beethoven up there. Costa worried he would miss out. Costa said, tell Fred I'm more bad than good sometimes. Fred told him, remember how you give this great comfort to people through your music. That was the vibe in Studio A. Fred was intentional about the atmosphere he created on the program as well as on the set. If you could provide an environment that allowed people to be comfortable enough to be simply who they are, what would happen? Fred knows that I have something to give that's important, and he lets me give it. And I give it freely, and then I'm part of it, a part of his creation. He said pretty much everyone felt that way. That's what makes us so tight, is because Fred lets us give. And what a thing that is, huh? This idea of accepting a person, a child or anyone, as is, was a novel concept to me. I had spent a lifetime in a Catholic household where adhering to dogma rather than self-discovery was the thing. In time, I came to question if I had any of my own thoughts at all. I went to grad school. It was exhilarating. Critical thinking was the thing. It was, at first, a mind-expanding drug. Deconstruct your thoughts. Doubt yourself. Doubt everything. Attack your thoughts. Attack everyone's. Skepticism became the badge of honor. But for me, it all led to a kind of sourness, a distrust of anything soft, of beauty, silence, love. And here was Fred. Accept yourself, accept others as is. On the beach in Nantucket, he was wearing a tattered windbreaker, loose-fitting chinos, and the famous blue sneakers. It was the summer of 1992, almost a decade into our friendship. He was struggling to carry all the stuff he had gathered, a ratty old beach chair, a towel, a ball cap. His wife, Joanne, and I were not exactly helping. See, these things were filthy, random junk having washed up on the shoreline at various stops along our walk. At one point, he put them down and charged towards something else that had caught his eye. It was a sheet, a dirty old sheet. Now, what size is our bed? He called to Joanne as he began spreading it out on the sand. Raj, Joanne said as we drew near. I don't think. He looked at us, seeming to genuinely calculate the sincerity of our disapproval, then glanced back down at the sheet. It's disgusting, Fred, I said. He put it down, gathered up the other stuff, and we toddled back to the house without comment. By this point, I was pretty used to Fred's quirks. He was definitely a guy drawn to junk, to the world's discard pile. He liked flea markets. On Nantucket, where he and Joanne spent summers in the small cottage they called the Crooked House because it leaned, he liked to stop by the town dump just to browse. That weekend, he had rescued a cement deer from the dump, a lawn ornament or something. It was missing an ear. He had it perched on the porch railing at the house, and he kept calling our attention to it. Yep, nice deer, Fred. The tiny things, the meager and the marginalized. This emphasis was ever present in Fred's life. In everyday exchanges at home, in speeches, in scripts, and in songs, he embodied a kind of simple/fancy dichotomy. Simple was a virtue, fancy was suspect. Recently, someone asked me if I thought my friendship with Fred had any impact on my life now. I said that I probably think of him or something he taught me every single day. I suppose that's a weird thing to say about an old friend, but I know that anything worthwhile I do as a parent is rooted in Fred's teaching. The same goes for anything good I do as a teacher at that same university, in the very same classrooms where the darkness once fell over me. I've been back a while now, working to create an atmosphere that allows people to be comfortable enough to be who they are. I don't want to superimpose anything on anybody. Now, that's not the kind of thing you read in the pedagogy journals.
it's not really a thing at all. Fred put it this way in a speech. There are those of us who have been deprived of human confidence, those who have not been able to develop the conviction that they have anything of value within. Their gap is rather a chasm. They most often despair of creating any bridges to the land of what might be. They were not accepted as little children. They were never truly loved by any important human other. And so it seems to me that the most essential element in the development of any creation, any art or science, must be love. That speech was a commencement address at Carnegie Mellon University. And after Fred delivered the last line, he began singing his song, "It's You I Like." And hundreds of students joined in. Costa was there on the piano, going full-on rhapsodic. It's you I like. It's not the things you wear. It's not the way you do your hair. But it's you I like. The way you are right now. The way down deep inside you. Not the things that hide you, not your degrees. They're just beside you. But it's you I like. Every part of you. Your skin, your eyes, your feelings, whether old or new. I hope that you'll remember, even when you're feeling blue, that it's you I like. It's you yourself. It's you. It's you I like. Thank you. Thank you. Fred told the crowd that he wrote that song for the child in all of us, that part of us which longs to help in the creation of a new and better world. People often wonder what Fred would think of the world today, which can seem so far removed from his vision of bridges, love, a healthy atmosphere. Maybe he would have despaired and given up on it, people say. I don't think so. Just the opposite. I think right now, Fred would be feverishly creating bridges and bridges and bridges. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for being such a wonderful audience. I hope to see you at 1 p.m. on the City Terrace 9, where we'll do some Q&A. And if I don't see you there, come find me in the halls. I'd love to meet you all. Thank you all.
Oh, Lord, that was an experience. I loved it. It was great. I'm going to turn it back over to our president now. I just want to say in leaving, thank you for allowing me to continue to serve you, and have a great rest of your convention. Deb.
Well, we got off to a little bit of a difficult start this morning, but hasn't it been a great morning? Thank you to all of our fabulous speakers, and they all will be with us in other locations this afternoon, so please take advantage of those opportunities. And David will probably be around this afternoon, too, if you want to visit with him. Yeah, he says, you think? All right, we are now returning to the business part of our meeting, and we are to the elections. So we have now elected 2 of our board members, and we are continuing on in that process. And so we will do this the same as we did on Sunday night. I will bring forward the next name of a person who has been recommended by the nominating committee, I will take nominations from the floor for additional candidates for this position. If the people nominated from the floor have already been candidates and have spoken, then they are able to have speeches of 1 minute if that is desired, but otherwise their speeches will stand, and the candidate that I bring forward from the nominating committee will be allowed to have 2 speakers. Those speakers will be up to 5 minutes. All right, if there are no opposing candidates, then we would have more elections by acclamation. So let's see what we do. The next name to come forward from the nominating committee is Cecily Laney Nipper from Georgia. All right. Cecily is an incumbent on the board, and now I will accept nominations from the floor. Are there any nominations from the floor?
We have a hand in Zoom.
Okay.
And that is Chris. And Chris, you should be able to unmute. Okay, Chris, I've sent you a prompt to unmute.
Okay, I think I'm there.
You are.
You are.
I'm self-nominating myself for this position.
Right.
And
I need a second. We've got a second. Okay, we're very good. Thank you, Chris. All right. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor?
No hands in Zoom.
And are there any other nominations from the floor? All right, nominations will cease and we will begin the process for election. So we have 2 candidates. They are Cecily Laney Nipper and Christine Hunsinger. So Cecily, do you have speakers?
My speakers will be Carla Ruschival and Casey Detmer.
Carla is here in the room, I believe.
Yes.
And Casey is in Zoom, I believe.
Okay.
Can we confirm that?
Casey, if you could, yes, one moment. Casey,
Yeah.
if you could raise your hand kindly. All right.
Okay, good.
Yes, I got one moment here. Thank you. Yes, he is here.
Okay. And Chris, will you have a speaker or will you be speaking at all on behalf of yourself?
Chris, you should be able to speak.
maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
I do have, my speaker is Carlos Marco Ramos.
Okay. All right.
And he's on Zoom.
And we need to find him.
Okay. So, Marco, if you can raise your hand as well, I will look for you too. But in case if you can, there you are. Yep, he's here. He's here. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay. All right. We will begin with Cecily's speakers, and Carla is going first, I understand, and then Casey. So, Carla?
Yes. Tell me when you're ready to begin timing.
Are we ready for Carla?
Yes, I'm ready.
Just a moment, Carla. Are we ready to start timing? Yeah, yes, they're ready. Go ahead, Carla.
Okay. I rise to second the nomination of Cecily Laney Nipper to fill a 4-year seat on the ACB Board of Directors. Cecily is an outstanding young leader in ACB. In a few short years, since 2021, she has held many leadership positions. She has been on the prestigious National Convention Committee since 2023. You'll find her this year coordinating the Convention Information Desk. She's been the president of the East Georgia chapter since 2022, president of the Georgia Council of the Blind since 2021, and ACB Media Convention Coordinator for the past couple of years, which means that this year,
Cecily has coordinated all of the panelist links, the facilitator and speaker information, and an incredible amount of other details for the special interest groups and ACB committees holding in-person, virtual, and hybrid events related to this convention. An awesome job, Cecily. Cecily was elected to a one-year seat on the American Council of the Blind Board of Directors at last year's convention in Schaumburg, Illinois. Cecily is a passionate assistive technology instructor with certifications in JAWS, NVDA, Zoom Text, and Microsoft Office. She has 3 years of leadership and management experience and many years of clerical and administrative experience. She also holds a Unified English Braille Completion Certificate. In conclusion, in ACB, we are constantly looking for new young leaders. Cecily Nipper is an amazing leader, and she is already hard at work on the local, state, and national level. She is hardworking, thoughtful, organized, and fair. Please join me in voting for Cecily Laney Nipper for a 4-year term.
All right, how much time does Casey have? Little less than 2.5 minutes, Casey.
Thank you. I rise to support the nomination of Cecily Laney Nipper to the ACB Board of Directors. I'd like to talk about how she relates to affiliates and how she was helpful to our affiliates. We were struggling after the pandemic to try and have an in-person convention. Our affiliate is about the same size as hers in Georgia, and so we talked about how that we could achieve that goal. So I used the same idea that Georgia had, and we were able to get enough people interested to now have our first in-person convention since 2019. Cecily was also very instrumental and helpful after the January board meeting when a number of our members were upset and some wanted to exit ACB. So I contacted Cecily as a member of the board to have a discussion about what we might want to do. She came to our affiliate. We had a call with her. She was very helpful from a board perspective and from a personal perspective. Cecily has integrity. She is able to separate her personal position from the board position. And in that meeting, she had to do so. Cecily gives a little more diversity of thought to the board. I think that we need more than just a common definition of diversity on the board. We need to hear from different perspectives from all members. Cecily represents a group of members who feel their voices are not heard. It is for that reason I ask you to support Cecily Laney Nipper to return to the ACB Board of Directors. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. And I'm sorry, I missed who Chris's speaker is going to be?
It's Margot Ramos.
Margot, sorry, thank you, yeah. All right.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
All right, so I would like to rise to support the nomination of Christine Hunsinger for the ACB board. For the last 4 years, Christine has served us excellently here in the state of Pennsylvania, and she would like to bring all of that and all of the achievements that she's done to the national board. Christine's experience with the federal service is evident in the way that she has run our state affiliate. And really, Christine has zeroed in on many problems that ACB has, and she has implemented some of those solutions in the state of Pennsylvania. First, really to diversify ACB's membership. And she has innovated both in-person and technology solutions to try and attract more members, more diverse members here in the state of Pennsylvania. And I am an example of that. During the pandemic,
We're time,
Pennsylvania
time,
Council for the
time,
Blind,
time. This one is a 1 minute time. All right, thank you very much. All right, so let me describe, all right, yes. Let me describe what we'll be doing again and how things work today. So this afternoon, between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern Time, the rest of you have to figure out where you are in the world. Between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m., the voting at the Vote Now will be open. The ballot will be there for you. You will be voting for Cecily Laney Nipper or Christine Hunsinger. And you will do that between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. You'll use your voter code, and you will go and you will vote. Then, tomorrow morning, once again, fairly early in the process, in our meeting, we will have our affiliate roll call. And thank you, affiliates, for doing that so quickly for us this morning. Sure appreciate that. And so we will have the affiliate roll call, and then we will have the outcome of that election. We still have 2 more seats to fill on the board, so we will continue our process tomorrow. On Thursday, we will have an additional election. I'm not going to give you the details of that timing right now because we need to confer with staff and with Vote Now to make sure everything will work, but I have a pretty good idea how we're going to do it. And we will give you that information as part of the business session tomorrow and Wednesday, and it will be included in the emails that will go out to you. So you will know how that is all happening, and we will be able to have one additional election before the banquet time on Thursday. I think that may be all that we need. If it is not all that we need, then we will have to continue elections into next week. But we will have at least completed 4, and 4 might do it. So we'll see. We don't know that yet. So remember, I told you at the beginning there could be up to 16, and we've knocked it down a few now. So we're getting there. We're getting there. And thank you all for that. All right. Do we have the door prize person? Can we have any more door prizes? Pardon me? Microphone for the door prize person.
Okay, everybody, door prize. I apologize in advance if I mispronounce anyone's name.
Yeah.
First person is here. Ankar Narukar is here. He has won $25 from FCB cash and a gift card of $10 from Carrie Bishop's Marketplace.
Okay, wow.
So see Janet. Can I do another one?
You can do as many as you want.
Oh, all right. I got a few more on the sheet. Let's finish
Okay.
it. All right. Elsie Monthai, you're here, I hope. You have won a fluffy beach towel from the Palmetto Council of the Blind, and you have also won a $10 gift card from Carrie Bishop's Marketplace. Our next person is virtual. This is Dawn Brush. Dawn has won $25 cash from ACB Minnesota. I didn't see it right. Minnesota.
Minnesota. It's Minnesota. Thank you. Yeah.
Beverly Duplexis is here. She has won $50 Walmart. I'm reading with one hand, holding the microphone with the other hand. Okay, so Beverly, you've won $50 Washington State cash.
Oh,
Woo,
wow.
Let's meet her for lunch. Okay, and Joseph Link is here. Joseph has won $25 Uber gift card donated by Cassie Trosper and Aaron Connor. And that's all I have, Madam President.
All right. Do we have any final announcements?
Madam Chair?
Yes?
This is Ron Brooks. Just a super quick announcement. USERV is a Coral sponsor. It's our first time. We are an adaptive transportation network company. We are having focus groups this afternoon at 4 o'clock and at 5:30 in Main Street 1 to talk about what is an adaptive TNC. Think Uber, but a little bit different. We do have some openings, so folks are welcome to join us at 4 or at 5:30. We have a couple of slots at 4 and plenty at 5:30. So if you are interested in learning about USERV and what adaptive transportation can look like, please feel free to drop by Main Street 1. Thank you.
All right, Main Street 1 at 4 and 5:30. Great.
Deb, there's a question in the Q&A box on the elections process. Is that something that you can take?
Yes.
Okay, the questioner is wondering whether you're able to start on the BOP elections during this time so that we are able. Okay.
No. The reason that we cannot, that's a great question. And the reason that we cannot is that because if people who are not selected for the board were to wish to run for the BOP, they don't know their full status on the board elections yet, and we have had in the past. So the one thing that the Constitution and bylaws could be changed to allow us to run all of the board positions at once or all of the BOP positions at once, but we can't run two different types because occasionally it is that someone from the board who, we have more candidates than we have positions, and as we know that someone of those could elect to run for the Board of Publications, and so we don't want to block that option by doing it that way. So the answer is no, and we would have to have a con and bylaws change to do that. But I don't think it's one that we would recommend. Yeah. All right.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I just wanted to, on behalf of the Florida Council of the Blind Activities Committee, thank everyone who donated blood. Yesterday, we donated 34 people donated. So 34 times 3 is how many lives we saved. So I wanted to say thank you so much to everyone.
Wow.
102 lives is how many people we helped with our convention. So thank you so much for those who donated.
Yes.
That's all I wanted to say.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. That's excellent. All right. Any other quick announcements? Okay. We are adjourned until tomorrow. Thank you. Have a wonderful afternoon and evening.
A logo, ACB in print and braille, American Council of the Blind, together for a bright future.